All right, yo, 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 it's your boy Yoshikidneo, and we're back with a new campaign, the Kingdoms of Boridil. And today we're doing our session 0. So, welcome. Let's have some fun. I need to send Kyle a invite to this game. I forgot.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. All right, so we'll start out with the premise of the campaign, my main theme that you guys will be playing in, and then you guys can start talking about what characters you guys are planning to play. And if anyone thinks that there needs to be some sort of switch, you can obviously switch it, blah, blah, blah. Keep in mind, it's more of the class that makes a difference than your race. The races are essentially like they can aid a class or make a class feel more solid, I guess maybe you could say. But it's not a end all be all if your class doesn't match up with your race. So races shouldn't really need to be changed unless you think that it would help the story a little bit better. Um, yeah. As for class wise, that's where you guys will be discussing while we create the characters together. I should have a character sheet that is blank with your name on it in the journal tab under players. I know a couple of you said that you might want to recycle your character, so I left your old character available. Let me actually pop out one more. Regardless, the other thing is the title of this campaign is called The Kingdoms of Boridil. The whole premise is that the continent, which I'll show you guys real quick. Actually, we'll go there. Let's go to my world map that I think I spent 20 hours making this, and I still have some changes I want to make. But
Dang.
honestly, making the map on this map editor it's a lot of fun.
Is this a new one?
This is a new map.
Oh, no, the map editor.
Oh yeah. The one I sent you, that's Incarnate. That one's different. That's a yearly subscription. This one you buy it once and it's free forever.
What is it?
It's called World and Wonder Draft. I can send you a link. It's really cool. I think it was like $15.
Oof.
Do you think
But-
it's better than Incarnate?
it's way better.
Yeah, it looks nice.
There's so like those you see all those different routes and stuff. Like he developed a tool where you click it and you can click it to like make it weave and stuff like that. Incarnate doesn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this link in the hatchery for everybody that wants to look. Essentially, the way the campaign works is these are the kingdoms. So they're color coded. We've got the Sladora kingdom over here in the dark blue. We've got the Vuberin campaign in the purplish pinky color. The Yodian Empire is the yellow. The Kirakuri are up here in the north in the orange. The City of Guilds is the neutral empire. They're white. The Gusta Empire is the icy area up here with this icy blue color. The Civutus Empire is this black area. Ziradel.
High five.
Yeah. Migusta. All right, I guess I got to change that. And then
No, keep it. Please
That's
keep
exactly what I was thinking
Yeah.
too, not gonna lie.
it.
maybe I'll say Guista. Not,
That's even better.
Yeah. And then the Titania Empire that Reed has created is the red area. If somebody still wants to, I know Kirsten has an empire, but it's not one of the main ones. It's a neutral party. So if anyone else wants to world build the empires, you have free reign up until, I guess, we actually go to those empires or something needs to come up and then I have to make it canon. All depends on you guys. If no one is interested, let me know and I will go ahead and start fleshing them out. But the only thing I've done is named them, and the names can still be changed if somebody does take control of the mapping of the kingdom. The premise of the campaign, essentially, the 8 kingdoms all ruled for various amounts of time in their locations. and something happened about 1,000 years plus that sparked a all-out war between almost all the kingdoms. So it was pretty much a free-for-all. During this 1,000 years, some kingdoms came to ally each other and attack others. Others remained independent and just held off the onslaught of other kingdoms. And eventually, the blood started soaking the land to where key individuals from each empire were able to come together and form a neutral empire and titled it the City of Guilds. Their whole objective was to end this needless violence in the war and make everyone sort of come together for the common good. It took them a couple hundred years to finally get that to happen, just to get everybody to come together to discuss things. And then after that, it took about two plus years for them to draft up a treaty in order to get everyone to sign it. And during this time, of course, some kings and queens or rulers came and went, either from old age, assassination attempts, you name it. Uh, but finally, everyone came together and signed the treaty known as the End. This treaty stated that everyone had to be peaceful. They divided up the lands based on the lineage that the land had, who controlled it for longer periods of time. Debts were paid between the empires for, whatever services other companies had done or used. And the final term was that everyone had to send in various recruits to the City of Guilds to become uh, pretty much known as peacekeepers. They're adventurers that go out and solve the world's issues. So it's kind of like an unbiased opinion being sent to another empire and being like, all right, cool, I get what you're saying, but this is how we're going to do it because this helps everybody instead of just you. So that's the whole thought process from the City of Guilds, is if we send a neutral party or if we send in a group of adventurers that come from all different types of lands, then things will get solved in a relatively unbiased manner. And that so far, 130 years have passed with complete peace. Obviously, rumors get spread quite easily that some empires are thinking of overthrowing another. Um, some empires aren't keeping to the treaty, or others are plotting to spark a new war in order to gain as much or catch everybody off guard, so on and so forth. You guys will be starting the campaign at year 1130, where you guys are essentially sent to the City of Guilds as, normal everyday citizens, aka level 0 characters, and you end up getting brought in, trained up, and become adventurers as a part of the Peacekeepers Guild in the City of Guilds. We'll get more into that whole premise and stuff like that once we actually get to session 1. But for now, let's go ahead and open it up with the character creation. We'll start rolling stats and stuff, but I guess if we start from, we'll just start from who's in Discord. We'll start with Dallas and go down. If you want to let us know what class you plan on playing, you don't have to necessarily say what race, because the races they don't matter essentially, but what type of, do you plan on being more of a tanky character? Do you plan on being more of a controls type character, maybe a healer? Or do you plan on just rolling in and swinging a sword and killing as many folks as you want? Starting with Dallas.
Okay, so kind of based upon the two that I'm thinking about. Well, it's gonna be like more fighting based. I'm thinking about going back to barbarian, just like maybe like a different build, maybe something that's kind of a little bit more party orientated, and or I might do the set like my evil character, the samurai, and kind of do that. But like the race I'm choosing is gonna be, it's got like a whole bunch of charisma, like charisma buffs, or like it's easier to have charisma. So I want to be a little bit more versed in like political stuff. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I thought about maybe a couple mages, but I don't. I want to have like high HP basically, so kind of tanky.
Hey,
Take
yo, what
most of
about
our
that
damage.
Eldritch Knight?
I haven't.
It's a
There's
fighter.
there is a fighter subclass in the player's handbook. that does a lot of this actually.
So it actually sounds kind of cool. Let me hold on. I'm writing kind of ideas down. I haven't really. Some of the stuff I got to run by Brady before I finalize what I want to do. But that's a good idea. So you said it's
Okay.
called an Eldritch Knight.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
got
should be in the player's handbook.
it's basically a fighter that has access to a certain amount of spells. It's probably the easiest thing to have like heavy armor and spell casting on at the same time. Other than like cleric and paladin, but those don't count. Those aren't real spells.
All right, so Reed, go ahead.
Fighter tank.
All right, that was easy. Kyle, do you have any idea? Well, you don't. Not that you don't
I
matter.
have an idea, but I'll go last
Yeah,
because
because you're
as I
not.
am just
Yeah,
kind of like
core.
a stand-in.
Correct. So you matter. You matter to me, but you don't
No,
matter.
I get it.
Jeff.
So I was thinking of another wizard, but one that's not focused on blasting. Because last time I was evocation, I was thinking more battlefield control and RP elements, like you kind of battlefield control and utility wizard.
Okay, very neat. Very neat. Kirsten.
Well, I was debating between sorcerer and druid again, but I just had so much fun playing Demi that I think I'm gonna go druid. I'm
Neat.
still trying to figure out the subclass though.
Yeah. Okay. So Druid, a all-in-one Swiss Army knife.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald.
A mermaid.
True. Gerald, you're muted. There you are.
Yeah, so I was gonna play pretty much based off of what everybody else said and just make them off of that. So I was gonna be more battlefield control and support, if I'm not mistaken, on how this
Okay.
character works.
And it's that that one with the drinks, right?
You got it.
Yeah. Martin.
Given what everyone else has chosen, minus Kyle, I'll be a rogue.
Okay. So sort of their sneaky, edgy, fun, lockpicky.
Edgy.
All right. So let's go ahead and I know
Figure out what
Reed.
Kyle's doing.
Yeah, Kyle, what do you think you'll play? You honestly have free reign of what you want to do. More free reign, I would say. You can still fill gaps, I'm sure, in the character dynamic.
Yeah, the way I was thinking is, especially since I might not be here every week because I'm kind of a fill-in. I could have multiple characters to kind of fill roles, but my original concept was probably like a bardic rogue or a
Okay.
rogue warlock mix.
Yeah, in all honesty, if you
Dual
did want
class.
to make a new character every time, like, because essentially what I'm gonna do is, we're with the schedule. I know, it's not always possible because I know me and Jeff always have, drill and stuff going on to where we can't play all the time. Reed's schedule changes every couple months to where he's on a night shift, but then he goes back to a day shift, so it ends up having to start later or earlier depending on that. I think most of the rest of you are fairly flexible, especially when it comes to the weekends. I know the weekdays, Kirsten and Martin, you guys, as well as Dallas and Gerald, work, I believe, almost full-time jobs, right?
Oh
I
yeah,
definitely
full-time
work a
plus.
full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working too. But my weekends are flexible. I made sure that like I kept them open, just depending on what you guys want to do. That way
Okay.
I'll be
Yeah.
pretty accessible.
Yeah, so essentially we'll most likely play on Saturdays and Sundays. Mostly Saturdays. The only time I could see Sundays being a thing is if, for whatever reason, I get scheduled to work later on a Saturday, or if Ingrid makes plans for me on a Saturday, in which case I'll make sure everyone has plenty of notification that we're switching to Sunday. I know right now Reed can play from about 1 Mountain Time to about 5 Mountain Time. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and then
Well, I
that'll
mean,
switch eventually.
however early you want it to be, but 5 would be the end point.
Yeah, I don't want to make it to where you lose too much sleep because I'm not I'm not down for having people lose sleep over just to make it easier for everybody. But essentially, the way I think I'm gonna do it is if we have I'm thinking with a core group of 6, if we have at least 4 people that are ready to play, then we'll play and we'll try to get some stand-ins. If we have 3 of the core group and like 1 or 2 stand-ins will still play the core campaign. Any less than that, I'll probably switch it to where we do like a one shot for that session for whoever's there, and they can do their own like subcontract that might be more backstory based, as opposed to guild based. So we'll play with it, figure it out. But that's the whole point of stand-ins, is so we can continue to play just about every weekend, unless for whatever reason I just can't do it. Uh, so, I think a good time frame for sessions is anywhere between 4 to 5 hours. I think that's what we've usually been doing. I'm always down for later sessions if they can be done. If you guys are, we can keep pushing it. But if not, then 4 or 5 hours. Plan for that. Um, yeah, real quick, let's go ahead and start rolling some stats real fast.
Oh man, here we go.
So just to make it a little easier for everybody, go ahead and on the left side where the little dice symbol is on that little thing, make sure you click the GM button in the top left of it so that it sends the roll to me. That way all of you can see just your die rolls and I'll see everybody's die rolls. This will make it to where you're not like, hold on, what was my third roll, and having to scroll up and shit. But you're going to roll 4d6 and you're going to do that 6 times, and then that will be dropping the lowest of those die rolls, and then that's one of your scores. From there, we'll determine if everyone's kind of got an even spread when it comes to the total. If they do, that's where we'll leave it. There will be no added bonuses or anything like that, not like last time.
So 4d6
Yep,
6
do
times.
it 6 times. Yep.
Okay.
So everyone go ahead and start rolling. Oh, Reed, you got to click the GM button.
I thought I did. It says 2GM on my sheet.
On your character sheet or that dice roller thing? Because it should be highlighted blue when you move down. It's
Holy
all good.
shit.
Yours are all right there. 1, 2, 3. Oh, bye. Y'all have fun.
Bye,
Au revoir.
Claire.
Bye.
It's
I
probably
love you
because I
more.
typed roll. It's probably
I
'cause
love
typed
you.
roll D6 or the slash roll command.
How do I
Oh,
pull up
yeah.
the dice roller?
On the left side, there's a D20 towards the bottom, right before the question mark on that toolbar. You click the little dice roller, or hover over it rather, and then when you move over, click the GM to where it highlights blue, go down to D6 and go to the 4 and roll it.
Oh my god. Brady, I think you're gonna like my stats.
Yeah, I see it. It's bullshit.
I
How did
mean,
you
they're
do that?
What the hell?
So
Not like that, Gerald.
Oh no, I'm trying to switch it.
So yeah, all it is, the only button you click is the GM one, and then you move your mouse over to where it highlights the D6 and scroll over towards the right to where it highlights the 4, and you click on the 4. Does that make sense?
Did I just like kick myself out of the thing? I don't know how the hell I just did that.
Yeah,
Hold
you
on.
did.
No, whatever you're telling me how to do is not making sense. Apparently, I guess.
Okay, hold on. I'll probably just do it for you if that's easier. Kyle, I'm making you a character sheet right now. Why did that spell like that?
My stat total's not even that high.
Good.
For
All
a
right,
reason.
Kyle, you have a character sheet now. So on your character sheets in the bottom where the features and traits, if you could all tally up what your scores are and put all 6 of them in a little bubble for me.
Wait, put the number where?
On the features and traits on the bottom right of the character sheet, like how I did with your.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So, just to make sure I understand this right, since it's been a while, I've only done this once. Whatever total number is, just put that in.
So you take the total, right?
Yep.
You see the 4 die rolls. You're gonna take the lowest of those 4 die rolls, and you're gonna drop it, and then you're gonna add the total, and that's your stat point.
Okay.
So let me go to your last one that you did. So that one, you would drop the 1, and it'd be a 10. So one of your stats is a 10.
Okay. And then the other one, like the one above it, how do I?
That one, you drop one of the 5s, and you
Okay.
have a 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. See 2 of you with a 18 already.
Got him.
I've got 217.
That's pretty good.
Problematic.
Yeah. So, and then once you got all of those added, essentially you can start. Does anyone? Honestly, the party dynamic sounds like it'll be pretty balanced. The only thing is, I don't believe I heard anyone planning to play any sort of like healer per se. I know the druid has the capabilities to do it, but I don't think.
Is that not what a battlefield control / support is?
Yeah, my character. Well, if I choose this, the
In
dude I
my
want, then
eyes,
I can heal.
battlefield support is different. That's more utility, more controlling what people are able to go on the battlefield, whereas healer is I would say a subclass of its own, or a style of play on its own.
I mean, as a druid, I'll probably have some healing spells, but
So Gerald, if you go to, actually, you know what? I'll just I bet I can do it like this. I bet I can make you a macro. Yeah, /roll.
Real quick, Brady, I'm having problems with my monitor, so I'm about to switch to one of my work computer monitors. So give me 1 second.
Yeah, do your thing. All right, Gerald. So from your character sheet, I should be able to.
Does anyone have ideas for actual classes or just concepts?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
much almost done already.
Yeah, I got one.
Ready to swing a sword.
If Brady okays it, I'm pretty
Yeah,
ready.
I have my
got
class
everything
too.
written down, so I can kind of just go through it. What the hell?
All right, Gerald. So you see, yeah, that'll work. So on your character sheet, if you go down to the bottom right where the features and traits, I made a little thingy for you. So you'll just hover over it, and there's a little chat bubble. You'll click it 6 times, and it'll roll the 4d6. And then later I can show you exactly where that thing is, but just to save some time, we'll do it this way.
And when I said I'll be more like battlefield control and utility, I also mean like slowing effects and like player interaction as well, like controlling other players. So just give more
Other
clarification.
players.
Like spells that could affect like that. Now, like the general outline, as in like illusion stuff or just stuff that could affect RP. Is what I'm getting at. Like alter people's perceptions and whatnot.
Fun.
like confusion, paralysis, stuff like that, sleep.
Yeah, they're in there. Yeah.
Oh, are you
Just-
using that guy, Gerald?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna
No.
tell you that I couldn't find it.
Gotcha. In that case, let me redo what I just did on that character sheet.
Okay.
Because I thought I did it on your new one. All right, there you go. And it's 2GM. So just click on that. You see the dice rolls there?
Yeah, you said hit the bubble, right?
Correct.
Okay, I just had it pulled up.
Nice.
Brady, the kingdoms. So where do I go to do the dice roll again?
On the left side, on that toolbar, where you can check the clicker, or you can pull out your ruler, there should be a D20 symbol. You're going to scroll over the D20 symbol, and you're going to click GM to where it's highlighted blue. You're going to scroll down to D6. You're going to scroll to the right to 4, and you're going to click that 6 times.
Hey Brady, in my
Yep.
sheet I left the feats there. They're just not active, so I won't have to ever retype them. Should I
Okay,
get them again?
that works. Nice. So
And
now
we dropped
Gerald,
the lowest one, right?
yeah, and Gerald and Dallas drop the lowest one. So Dallas, your first one, for instance, you'll drop that 3, making that 16 a 13, and 13 is what you'll put on your character sheet. And you'll make you'll take that initial stat rolls, you'll make a column for that, and you'll just type it in.
Oh my god. I keep pressing the wrong
One
button.
sec. So you said on that first one, I need to drop the 3, and that'll make that 16 a what?
A 13. Essentially, whatever the big number is, you subtract whatever the lowest dice roll is, and you go from there. And
Is
that'll
there a
be your
certain-
step point.
What if you roll like natural ones?
Then you got a really shitty roll. That one that you've got 2 natural ones, that is a 9.
That's trash.
A
At the
9?
bottom.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Where is that? There's a chart that's supposed to dictate how those interactions are actually supposed to play out. I'll try to pull it up real fast. If you want to, can we use it like that? Have you seen the chart before, Brady?
I'm sure I have. I'm not sure what you're talking about though.
Brady.
Yo.
How do you move,
So
like,
from
people
what you
character
know
names?
from the survey,
Mhm.
what are we doing in this campaign
I
based on the surveys?
went over. You're part of the Mercenaries Guild, going around and
Just
or
killing
what do you-
things?
For now, there's political intrigue,
Okay.
but we got to get there first. And yeah, I was about to go over the survey. I just want to make sure everyone's got their stats finished, and then they can start adding stuff to their character sheet.
I'm still thinking about my class per se.
What was your question, Dallas?
These stats are terrible.
I have not seen that, Jeff, but now I have.
I don't know. This is just a reference I saw. I'm not sure if you want to follow this at all, but I thought it was neat.
No, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It puts things more into a perspective. So if you end up needing help making your character, once you get your stats and stuff, I'll help you later. Depending on how many people need help, depends on if we can get to the combat where we test all the characters. I don't honestly think that we will be getting to that, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the survey while you guys put your stats and stuff in. Grab whatever class it is you're using and start filling out your character sheet with all its various things. Start picking your skills and stuff like that. If you're using an old character sheet, make sure, so I think that's only Gerald, Reed. Jeff, are you just using your old character sheet and editing it?
I'll just make a new one. I'll keep the old one there. Just
Okay.
just there.
So yeah, if you're using an old character sheet, just make sure you delete all of the saving throws, unless they're the exact same. Uncheck all your skills. Delete your hit points and and re-put in your new stat points.
Question.
Yes.
So our classes are good to go as of now, and
Unless you
races
guys
are
discuss that you want to do something different, I don't think anyone wants to change their character.
okay.
But this was your moment to discuss if you think anyone, or if the party needs anything, if anyone's willing to switch to that.
Is there anything that you foresee being an issue balance-wise as of right now that you would like to voice, or?
I have something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems like, according to the list that I have created, that we have 4 people that do various sort of fighting things, and then another person that also does various sort of fighting things and has the capability of healing. Plus maybe Gerald's character, who might have the capability of healing, based on what you guys have said.
So.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh no, I was just gonna say from DMing standpoint, like.
No, this is you guys. I don't.
Okay. Okay.
I don't plan on saying how to make your characters besides the stat rolls and what classes, if they're homebrew, are allowed. Other than that, your party dynamic is you guys. I'm not a part of this discussion.
Okay. So, like last campaign, looks like we're limited on healers, which will.
I mean, I'll just change if it's a problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have like multiple classes that I want to play, so I don't mind
Okay.
changing at all.
Okay, and my class is gonna have like a bunch of, or my character's gonna have a bunch of random RP things. Like I'll be taking like, if I can, like mending, like I can fix like little things or prestidigitation, so I can do like very.
What are you, a bard?
No, I'm a wizard, but I'm gonna take a bunch of utility spells, so I'll be able to help a lot more out of combat than in combat. And in combat, I'll just be control for the most part, like battlefield control. So I'm not gonna be focusing as much as like blast or damage as I was last time. So there's that to consider as well. So Reed's gonna be our tank. Dallas said he's thinking about being a frontline fighter as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be a frontline fighter. I'm going to be up there with Reed.
Okay.
More than likely, I think you've got 2 tanks.
Okay.
So if Reed's more on the defensive, kind of protecting us, I'll just be his sword kind of thing.
Okay. And then I'm gonna be more battlefield control skills and utility.
I mean, technically, tank's not really a thing because if the enemies ignore me, I can't.
Oh, you can't draw
Like
aggro.
that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So like, I'll position myself to try to get between the allies from that point of view, but like I'm not like an actual tank from that concept wise.
Oh yeah. Okay. Then
He's just beefy.
Yeah, he's a beefy boy. And then Martin, you're gonna be a rogue, you said, or a roguish type, like that kind of.
Just my first go-to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But it would be similar to like I guess sneaking or being like a dexterity based character is basically it. Dex or.
I mean,
charisma
the
based.
class that I choose isn't like set in stone per se.
Okay. Then druids they're more utility as well, right? I'm just trying to figure out like the damage, like layout of our group, who's doing the most damage right now.
Yeah, so with druids, in the way that I played Demi, she had mostly damage doing stuff, but there are some healing spells that I did too.
Okay.
So I plan on doing a bit of both.
Okay. Then Gerald, you said you're going to fit into more utility or support character or whatever we're lacking at the time.
We're using the same books as last time, right?
Yeah, essentially. When it comes to the character creation, you can use the player's handbook, If you need the class or the race from Volo's guide, you can use those. You can use Xanathar's guide and Xanathar's guide to everything else. Also, that homebrew folder, if you're just now taking a look at it, go ahead and pick something you're familiar with instead of having to ask 1,000 questions. Or if you think you want to switch it after we do session 0, we can switch it and then do it then. Which brings me to another point real quick. Last campaign, there were a lot of character swaps. I will allow everybody to do a character swap at one point in the campaign if they're really just not having fun with their character. But if you're swapping just for the sake of swapping, which, I mean, obviously that's hard for me to gauge whether you're doing it because you want to or because you're generally not having fun. But I want to try to avoid that just because then it's sort of like, I know we're part of a mercenaries guild and stuff like that, but just having 1,000 different characters in one campaign is kind of, I don't know, lackluster in my eyes. If you guys think differently as a group, fuck it, change your characters whenever. But the thing is, when you do switch characters, whether it's because they died or because you just wanted to switch, they will be starting 2 levels lower than the current level. But just because they're weaker to start out, I plan to up the XP that they gain, essentially sort of like a rested XP system from like World of Warcraft or something, where they'll end up leveling up faster than the current group to reach their level, and then I might either push it out to where they level all up at the same time and it just takes a little while longer, or the rest of the crew levels up, and then in a session or 2 after that, that person will level up as well. That brings me to another thing. Did you guys like doing the milestone level up system that I was doing? Essentially, once I felt like you guys had done enough for what the current XP gap was, I leveled you guys up. Or do you want to actually keep track of XP and do that whole fun thing?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't mind it.
So I want to see it when I kill something that I have a little number float in the air, and I
Okay.
can write it down.
Because in all honesty,
I don't mind either way, honestly.
Because if we do the normal XP system, it will take a longer time just because the amount of folks in the party. It subtracts some of the XP, because XP from a killed enemy is divvied out between the whole group. So if you guys kill something that's got 100 XP, but you guys have 6 people, math, you only get a fraction of it instead of everyone getting 100 XP points. So, that being said, if you want to do that way, it'll make it to where it takes longer to get your cool, neat stuff. If you would rather, I guess this also comes into one of my points that I was going to go over. Do you guys want the campaign like flow? Do you want it to be a little bit faster? Do you want it to be slower? Do you want it to feel like you're able to accomplish a lot of stuff over a short amount of time? In terms of like leveling up and gaining your cool class abilities, or do you want it to kind of, depend on the circumstances and what you do? Like, if we're kind of doing more RP stuff, it might take a little bit longer to level up, or what flow do y'all want?
I'd say maybe a mix of it being quick, but not too quick, but also depending on what we're doing. And kind of be realistic. Obviously, so like if we're on like a tougher mission, and like say the mission, just like the people we fight gradually get stronger, maybe we could have it as something like we get a lot of experience for that. Like say if we get trapped in like a dungeon for like 5 or 6 days, what I mean, if we make it out alive, I mean, like that experience would really give us a lot, just like a lot of fighting or experience or experience period.
Sort of various
I think
perspective.
maybe a little quick towards level 8 so we can kind of
get back to where you were.
Yeah, but then if it slows
a
enough
mix
to
of
that, I'm
both.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like being like for our evil characters, how strong like the build like strength wise, that was kind of cool. I'll say that, but also I think we should I think it'd be cool to wear more of I mean, since we're all I know a lot of us are maybe new to it. At least I know I was, but this time I'd like to be more like held accountable for our decisions. Like, I
Oh,
mean,
you will
obviously,
be.
if I say obviously, obviously,
Yeah.
if I say out of character and we're not too immersed in it, it's different. But if I don't mention it, I would rather be held accountable for. I mean, that's some of the times I do it. I would like to be held accountable
Yeah.
for
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
want.
I've got a whole list of how we'll play the game. Essentially, once we go over the survey, but this is one of my top ones that I was going to go over. Yeah, the pace, I agree. I think what we'll do is like it'll probably take maybe 10 sessions to get you guys up to level 8, maybe 15 possibly at the max, just so you guys get a feel for your new character. It's not too rushed. Then you level up, now you get a feel for their new toys and stuff. That way you're easing back into the character at a lower standpoint, because I know hopping some of you guys in at level 8, there's like this whole book of things that you can do, and it's like I don't fucking know what to do. So this is a good way to get you guys back into newer characters if you changed them at all. I know Gerald's got this homebrew class, so he's got to have to learn that, so it's easier to start it out at a lower level and then just speed it back up to where you guys were at in the last campaign, and then go from there kind of at the same pace, is what I'm getting from this. So pace-wise, we'll kind of keep it the same once we reach the part that we were at. Also, do you guys want the game to be more... Like, obviously, I like the sandboxy. Did you guys like the sandbox to where literally one day you could be like, all right, let's go here? Or do you want it to be... Do you want me to make the story more railroady? Because I can adapt and make it to where, all right, no, this is what you guys are doing today, but I don't like doing that unless you guys want me to do that.
So when you say sandbox, you mean kind of like we kind of
Yeah, like
decide
like
on.
Skyrim, you start the game and it's like, hey, you have a main quest, but here's a lady that needs a frying pan found. Like, you want to go do that? I know that's a Witcher 3 reference, but regardless, Kyle, you don't matter. Also, I love you.
I kind of like that, yeah. Sandbox give us a chance to explore. I mean, yeah, sandbox.
Yeah, I like the sandbox. It's just like certain things will eventually take precedence. I feel.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I'm not saying kind of like how Zelda, like the moon's crashing down, but like at some point we have to resolve a plot. So
Right.
Yeah.
The moon's coming. We
yeah.
got 36 hours. Character
Okay.
plays game for 100 hours. Okay, I'm ready to stop that moon now.
yeah.
Fam, the world's already destroyed.
Left alone. All right, so consequences for not following through with various tasks going through, which with a sandbox, that was my intention. It's kind of hard for me to convey that something bad has happened in a realm far away because you guys didn't do something in time, without just blatantly saying it. And I feel like sometimes if you guys don't bring up certain areas, that it's like, who knows what happened. I'm taking it as a DM if you guys aren't asking people like NPCs, hey, have you heard of this place? You know what's going on there? I'm taking it as you guys don't really care. But I definitely plan in this sandboxy campaign, there will be things like you guys will be given contracts, and if you do it a certain way, cool, good things will happen. If you do it a different way, all right, that's kind of fishy, like something else bad will happen over in this area, and you might hear about it just because of how interconnected this campaign is going to be compared to the last one. The last one was like everyone was still rebuilding, communications weren't going very fluidly between cities for no real reason, and that made it kind of hard to make information go around. But with this one being 8 kingdoms, or 9 kingdoms technically, all interconnected, I think it'll be easier for you guys to hear, oh, did you guys hear that one of the groups went out and they did this, and now somebody's thinking about starting a war? It's like, ah, fuck, that was us. So
I mean,
that'll be the
hub
general.
could maybe have like a little news group per se, news bulletin-ish kind of thing. If we were to visit the hub, maybe.
Okay, yeah, like I mean, there will be town criers that cry out and stuff like that in the City of Guilds and other capital cities, maybe the larger cities as well. There will be people that have information about what's going on in the area that you guys can talk to. That was one thing that I wanted to implement to make it to where you guys feel like there's stuff going on. With that though, do we care? Like, did you guys like when I did all that lore stuff about the NPCs, like typing out a whole little journal tab entry about them and having lore about the world? Do you guys actually read that? Do we not give a fuck? What do we want more lore?
I enjoyed it. I mean, if it's
I like
not too
lore.
much for you.
No, I mean, it gives me something to do, and honestly, sometimes I'll be typing out something, I'll be like, oh, this would be really cool. That'll throw a wrench in their plans, and, you know, that ends up happening. So I'll continue doing that then, because it was fun being able to make character descriptions and stuff. I've actually I found out a way how to do it a lot faster and easier as well, so that'll be fun. Also, I know campaigns usually last between levels blank and blank. Do you guys want this to possibly go to level 20, or do we want it to end at, say, level like 15 and then start a new campaign? Or like, do you just want to keep playing until we want to start over again?
Kind of that one. I mean, like, I want to see how powerful. If we get to level 20, I'd say if we feel like it's gonna run dry, I say you give us like a really hard mission, like at the end, like at the end game, pretty much like everybody almost dies, kind of like it's a
Well,
hard end game mission.
don't think of it as in how strong you get. I'm asking how long do you plan on playing these characters? Do you want to play them to level 20? And because that's going to take a while, more than likely, to get to level 20. I can speed it up, obviously, to where you guys are fighting bigger, better creatures. But if you want the story to sort of wrap up, and then you can start a new overall story, maybe a whole new campaign again, do we want to maybe like plan on playing up until like try to get to level 20, but if it starts getting petered out before that, we start over again? If you guys just want to get to level 20, I'll mark it down as like pretty much infinite until we're done playing. Otherwise, I was going to try to get the story to where, because I've got an overarching story. I obviously haven't fleshed it out because I want you guys to influence the world and what actually happens with the story. That being said, I can make it to where the story comes to closure well before you guys get to level 20. I have methods of doing that, but if you want the main story to end at level 20, it's just going to take a lot longer to get there, which is perfectly fine. I'm cool with doing either. But I think the general gist is you guys want to just be able to play. I don't think anyone's worried about, you know, I want to play this campaign, but then I want to start the new one in like a year or something like that. Because more than likely this getting to level 20, like I can make it take less than a year, but it'll feel kind of really throttled. I don't know.
I like finishing things to the end. Whether that takes us to 20 or not, I don't know. I'd like to get to that point, but at the same time, I feel like if we are level 20 characters, we pretty much go into a town and we can do literally whatever we would want. I'm not sure how you balance level 20 interactions, you know?
I have ideas, but yes, I've never played, or I've never DM'd for level 20 characters, obviously, not yet, but I want to get there too. And we'll see what fuckery we can come up with, but yeah, I'll just put it down as indefinite unless otherwise noted, so.
Okay.
My next point will be the death rules that I'm going to use for this game are going to be different. If you want to look at them, they're in Xanathar's Guide to Everything Else. They are on page 53. Essentially, when you die, you can be brought back, but at a price. You have to roll a D100, and we're going to be using whatever spell brings you back. You roll on that table that's on page 54, and that effect happens. This can happen up to 3 times. On the 3rd time that you die, though, your character's soul is shattered and you cannot come back at all. And they end up raising as some hellish ghoul somewhere in the world. Not a revenant because they have still a symbol of their soul, but you'll be some undead creature that goes and plagues an area in the world if you die too many times.
What guide? 53?
Yeah, 50.
Xanathars?
Yeah, to everything else, or his lost notes.
Oh, I don't have that. Okay.
Okay. Should be on the drive somewhere. I can send it to you.
Yeah.
I feel like there should. Is this like a no timer thing though? I feel like there should be some type of timer.
Well,
still
some of the spells, like True Resurrection, for instance, they could have died in the last 1,000 years. And you could honestly, the way the spell says is that if you can picture who they were, or if you know who they were, you can bring them back. So, but that's like a 9th level spell. That's a really powerful spell. So you guys aren't going to really have, access to that right now. But some of the spells, Raise Undead, I believe says specifically that they can't be dead for more than a minute. Been dead no longer than 10 days for Raise Dead. So you would have 10 days to try to get the body to somebody that can cast the spell. And I know some of them, I think Raise Dead, it says like if they're missing like a head, it doesn't work. Correct, yeah. So anything that's like, if they're missing body parts and shit like that, you can't be brought back. You're dead. So, for instance, if you guys are fighting owls and someone dies and they get eaten, Raise Dead will not work, but True Resurrection could. But True Resurrection takes a lot to get, and you guys, at this point in time, will definitely not have the means to doing that. But yeah, based on whatever spell is being used, there is a time limit on when they can be brought back.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm using the 3 strikes you're out, so once you've died a 3rd time, your soul is just gone. There's no way to bring you back at all, not even a wish spell. Actually, no, a wish spell could do it, but only a wish spell can bring you back after the 3rd death. And then also, depending on what is being used, you roll that D100 and it has a chance to not even work. I think that adds more of a incentive to use tactics in combat and to not, go around the world being like, oh, I'm hot shit, I can't die. So this will make you guys actually feel like there's, something to gain from being diplomatic, for instance. Also with my death rules, if you have death saving throws, they do not reset until you take a short or long rest. So, just because you got healed in the middle of a battle and you had 2 death saving fails, once you go down again and you get hit again, you dead. So you have to actually do a short or long rest in order to get rid of any of your death saving throws. That also goes for the successes, though. So if you have 2 successes and someone heals you, you get brought back on your feet. Once you get that 3rd one, that I would say that would reset everything if you don't take a short rest or long rest before that. So this will also make it to where if you guys are in the middle of a fight and it's like someone keeps on dropping and dropping, like there's more chance of them dying than just, I failed twice, someone heal me. Yeah. That brings me to my next question of metagaming. I honestly don't think metagaming is too much of an issue in combat, especially like when you're planning, okay, this is what we know about the enemy, what should we try to do? Now, if someone ends up making a character that's able to maybe figure out certain things about an enemy, that I would have you in character on your turn, free action, hey, this guy's weak to whatever. But if you guys are discussing tactics, I would say that you guys are able to do that. What I want to avoid is somebody taking quote unquote control of someone else's characters and be like, hey, your character needs to do this, otherwise we're screwed. I would prefer if everybody plays their own character, isn't told how to play their character, and tries to figure out things on their own. In character, you can be like, hey, don't you have this? And they'd be like, yeah. It's like, maybe next time you could try to use that, like try to role play how you would how someone could probably help the party better with their character, instead of as a player, hey, can you please fucking heal me, something like that. If that's cool with you guys. I don't If you guys want to metagame and do all that stuff, like, if I think some folks enjoy being able to just talk and play it like a video game, but I know some folks here would rather try to keep it somewhat as realistic as possible. So that's
Well,
up for discussion.
that's just my opinion. I think if we're like not in combat, not in some type of active scenario, everyone talk as a group out of character, figure things out, I'm okay with that. But if we're in a moment, I'd say try to play it in character, not pause and time out the game.
I agree.
Yeah, me as well.
Okay.
The other thing I'm worried about though is like this is a side thing, like me learning about like monster stats and whatnot. And, like I look them up sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I know this thing has like this AC, or like I know this thing has like this resistance to this. Like
Correct.
I need to like force myself to be like, would my character know that?
More
And
than
that's
likely
like,
not, and the cool thing
yeah,
about that is because I know that you guys have looked up stuff because y'all told me before, I have
yeah,
changed a lot of the creature's stats, and I know Martin has
okay,
probably done the same in his campaign. And on a lot of times I use monsters that aren't even official, such
okay.
as those owls.
Yeah, no, just like this is something just for me. Like I'm like shit. Like I want to play this like as realistic as non-metagamey as possible.
Well,
So
I mean, even if there's something you know out of character, just attack
yeah,
anyways because you don't know
yeah,
yet. I mean,
yeah. Like I would
and
probably
then
do
your
something
character
like
like,
that.
oh, okay, that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Let's see. I also think that, so when you're making your character, obviously one of the portions of making a character is to select a background. Your background that you choose for your character will have unknown RP elements added into the game that I plan to use. So this will kind of give you a general basis that whatever background you pick, I am assuming that your character came from that background, and I will play it as such as the DM. So last time there was a lot of the character backgrounds that I kind of looked over and didn't know how to do, but now that I've made this campaign a little more the way I made it anyway, is a lot easier to encompass almost everything that can be found because there's a lot of homebrew elements. If someone picks criminal, people are going to come and ask you to kill some people. If somebody chooses an urchin, there's going to be other urchins running around and doing the same shit. Maybe you've had a run-in with one of these guys from your past and they've got a bone to pick with you. If you pick the guild ambassador, then you've already been like, I'm probably going to make it to where you've already got a lot of contacts within the guild, other various guilds that are in the city. So just keep that in mind when you pick your background. It's not going to be tossed aside just so you can get a couple skills and some extra gold and shit.
Okay.
Does alignment matter to everybody? Do we want me to, change it if I think that your character is falling out of whatever alignment you choose, or do we just not really care about it?
I like it when alignment matters.
Yeah, it's just
Well, less that I like it when alignment matters. More I like it if people role play alignment without
Yes.
getting in the way of other players.
Yeah,
And
I don't
that's
know
kind of
about-
hard to do though, for sure. I know some people
I don't know
aren't as
about,
well versed with it, but go ahead, Reed.
Sorry, I'm not really concerned with like personal alignment, but more like, hey, we're with each other, and that was really evil. Like, more like us maybe role playing with each other if we see like a drastic behavior.
are holding each other accountable, kind of for what we do.
But like, I don't know, because the personal alignment could change depending on story elements, or things that happen to the character. You could have, a sway in personality.
That'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool to kind of. There'd be
Kind of
things
like
that could
Adolin,
break
how
us
he was he's a lawful good paladin, but he's going to kill knocked out bandits, or knocked out cultists because they're evil
Oh yeah, that
and
was
they bring
great.
suffering. But it's kind of like, I don't think anyone ended up playing. None of you guys were playing except for Martin, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, Bill's
That was
character was a
hilarious.
lawful good paladin. They tied up these dudes, and they were literally like, there's nothing they could do. And
Helpless.
he's like, all right, cool, kill him. And he killed him. And everyone just kind of watched this paladin do that, and they're like, all right, cool, let's move on. So, like, I almost forced him an alignment change there, but I didn't. I was still a very new DM. I think that was like session 6, so I didn't know. But if it matters, I'll make sure. I'm not gonna tell you, hey, if you do this, it'll change your alignment. I'm gonna let you guys figure out the hard way. Most of the things that you do in the game, also, I don't want you to be like, hey, what if I do this? Find out. That's what
All
I'm
right,
going
Tep.
to. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I'm not gonna. If people do, also if like you're on your character sheet and you just roll something, for instance, like you roll investigation for no real reason, like I would rather ask you to roll instead of you be like, hey, I look in this drawer and you roll a check. Like, there's going to be other things that happen. If I see too many rolls being happening, just for shits and giggles, I will make those rolls matter and we will use the results. Also, there's no critical fails or successes when it comes to ability checks and saving throws. But if you guys want, I do have rules for critical fails and critical hits in combat that add a little extra flavor. The thing is, though, a critical hit obviously gives you an added bonus to attacking the creature. A critical fumble makes it to where bad things happen to you. Now, and crits are all luck-based. Do we want to add this system, or do we want to just deal with it like you automatically miss and that's that, or you automatically hit and you just do your normal double the dice?
Sorry, the crits, how would they happen? Just if you roll like a 20? Or I don't have that part.
The crits, the misses and the hits are a natural 1 or a natural 20 in combat.
Yeah.
I have a list of things that you roll on if you roll one of those, and it gives added benefits or added consequences to rolling a natural 1 or 20. Do we want to use them? Would it be fun? Or maybe test it one day and see what happens?
Oh, so can you give me an example of like a consequence roll on a natural 1? Like,
are
they critical? Like, am I gonna slip up and impale myself?
Exactly, yeah. That would be something like if you roll a natural 1, you could possibly throw your sword on the whole other side of the combat, and now you have to spend your next turn or two going over there to grab it. Sometimes you could hurt an ally instead of the person you're fighting. Likewise, a critical hit, you could hit with such force that it knocks them prone, or it knocks them back 5 feet, or you disarm them because of how much damage you did. Those are some of the various effects that this table has.
That'd be kind of cool, maybe. 50-50. Maybe we can give it a try and see how it is. I mean, like, so are you gonna base it like off one? So say like the first one I miss, and you just kind of, all right, first critical hit.
Check it out. It's a table. So you roll the natural 1. I have you roll a D100, and we go consult the table. It tells us what happens. It'll change almost every time.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that sounds kind of cool. I'm at least for giving it a try, see how it works.
Yeah, I'm not opposed.
Happens. Yeah.
Okay. So we will give it a try. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? Background skill. So I plan to, there's a system that was in place, I believe it was 4th edition, known as skill challenges. I plan to use them. The way skill challenges work is based on how many players are in the skill challenge will determine how many successes you need to overcome an obstacle. The way these skill challenges work is you pick one of the skills that you're proficient in, you'll roll it, and based on that will be a success or failure based on the DC. You can also sort of tailor, like, I want to use my sleight of hand to try to do this and that, and like the more detail you give me, the possibility that the DC changes. Because if it's something that's just something really absurd, it's going to be harder. But if it's something that's like, oh wow, that's really clever, it'll make it easier. So be mindful when you're picking your skill proficiencies that they're going to have a lot more effect in this game. Also, if somebody asks something like a history check, like, hey, do I know anything about this monument right here? I will have you roll a history check. And I will probably have you roll it to me in secret so that no one else sees this. So when it comes to things like, history checks, persuasions, bluffs, stuff like that, I'm probably going to have you guys whisper me those rolls. That way, whatever I tell this person, they're the only ones that know what that die number was. Everyone else will be kind of be like, so what'd you find? The only other people that can roll in that situation would be anyone else that is proficient in that. So let's say, for instance, Gerald is not proficient in history, and he goes up, hey, what is this monument? And he rolls, and he sends it to me, and it's a 4. I'll tell him there's no real, like, you've never even seen anything like this. At that point, if someone else that is proficient in history wants to take a stab at it, they will also whisper me the roll, and I will give you the info. The final thing about rolls that I wanted to bring up that could add tension and mystery to the game is, do you want me to roll these for you to where you don't even see some of the rolls? That way, when I tell you the stuff, you have to, as a character or as a player rather, be like, okay, did I roll really high? Like, is this the information, or did I roll real shit and he's just giving me this generic bullshit? Like, do you guys want me to do that with skill checks, or do you want to be able to see the dice rolls?
I'd rather you do that in some scenarios. Like, say we're in a dungeon and like you're like, okay, make whatever check, and then like I step over like a trap or whatnot. I don't know I stepped over a trap, and you like tell me what I like perceive happening.
Okay.
I'd rather like that happen than like, oh, you got like a 12. So like that, I feel like the numbers kind of make it so I can metagame like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. Let's be on defensive. Let me cast mage armor. That kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I mean, it could be maybe half and half then if we're in a unknown territory, kind of. We don't know the roles, but maybe it's something we're engaging in town that we're proficient in, maybe be able to see the role. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Essentially, what I could also do is I can ask, when I ask for the roll, I can be like, do you want me to roll it? I think that's what I'll do. I'll ask you guys if you want me to roll it in secret. That way you have no idea what you rolled, and I'll give you the information based on that. It'll make it to where it's, I think the reason this system works is because it makes it more immersive, as opposed to like being like, I rolled a 4 to check for traps. Okay, I didn't see anything, guys, but if you're the party rogue at looking for something like traps or something, you're the only one that's probably going to get a roll for that scenario, because it's something you're special at. But sometimes the dice rolls in such a terrible fashion that it's, one, funny, but two, it could be like, all right, how do I get my character to know that there's an issue and have someone else roll this? Because that's what I'm kind of wanting to avoid with some of these checks. But I guess we'll cross that road once we get there. Yeah, I think it's a fun way to immerse the party. If you guys are cool with it. It sounds like Martin is.
I tried to type out the heart emoji like 3 different times. So it's like, oh yeah, that doesn't work on this app.
Me gusta.
All right. So let's see. We did the lore thing. When I looked at the survey, a lot of you did like the idea of being able to connect with an NPC and stuff. I added a lot of NPCs, and I don't think the first one that actually mattered to you guys was Firo. And I think the general gist of it was it felt kind of forced. So, what makes an NPC worth liking to everybody? You can type out one little thing into Roll20. That way, we don't have everyone stepping on a conversation. That way I can try to tailor the NPCs to maybe one or two characters, or maybe just to like the whole group if everyone kind of agrees with something. But do you like NPCs to be super talkative? Do you want some to be mysterious? Do you want NPCs that are helpful? Do you want NPCs that are hurtful? I mean, there's going to be obviously all of these, but I'm trying to figure out like based on each player specifically how to make an NPC that's more tailored to your character as opposed to just there. So think of those, and then yeah.
There's remember that one NPC when we were first where we first met Gerald's like new character, like the one that was a
Rixa?
sniper. Yeah, she's the one that gave us the choice
Oh
of
no,
our mission.
yeah.
That one was special.
Yeah, she was my favorite. Like she was really cool. She had like a sense of humor and she tried to make jokes and tried to talk to us along with helping us. That was pretty dope.
So more of a lighthearted, yeah. He's talking about
Amiria? Amiria?
What was her fucking name?
Willow?
Not Willow. It was when you guys were in Bellow Light, I think.
Oh, I wasn't there for that one.
It's under. I have it right here somewhere. Nylade? The punny. Yep, that one. She's the one that gave you the contract. But yeah, she was cool.
Also, maybe some NPCs that I know some like that, but NPCs that can kind of take a joke, you know, they can kind of get with it a little bit, not ones that are like super maybe offended at everything as soon as we get there.
Well, yeah, I mean, the ones that got offended were elves, and that's because of how elven culture was at that time.
Oh, I'm not. Oh yeah.
So, how lifelike do you want this game to be? Do you want it to where I track down how much food and water you've had over the course of the day, or do you want to just buy a bulk set of rations that sit in your pack and you eventually eat them all?
If we
eventually eat them.
If you do the rations, is it going to be like you eat this ration this day, then you have one less ration? Is that what you're referring to, or no?
Well, I mean, if you visibly only have in your character sheet 3 rations, then if you guys aren't doing any like hunting or anything like that, or if you don't have, I don't know what your druid character is going to be named, but if she doesn't cast Goodberry to give you the nourishment for the day, like, do we want it to where I'm strict on it, or do we not even want to think about it so that we could just have fun instead of having to do trifling things?
I think if we're in town, like in cities and areas, maybe not worry about it because it'd be common sense. We're gonna go to the tavern, we'll go places, we'll eat.
Yeah,
but if we leave the city, yeah, at that point, like, okay, they're not in an area where they'll have natural access to food. They'll have to start worrying about that. Like if we go to a dungeon and we're there for a while, like, where are we getting our food from at that point?
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Okay,
yeah,
noted.
To piggyback off of what he said, that's kind of, I mean, we talked about it before. Like, I wouldn't mind there being consequences for not eating.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
okay, so yeah, we're in the town for however long. So, you know, when we leave, okay, I mean, we're gonna get hungry while we're out. So, how long does that food last? Like, you get what I'm saying? Before we get hungry again and stuff like that. So if we're out, like, say, okay, we had a big feast, so it's like for at least 4 hours or something like that, we're good. So after that 4th hour, it's like, okay, hey, we're hungry, we need to sit and eat, or consequences.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so but if you're, I got the general gist. If you're in the city, your character would know. I'll probably have you deduct like maybe a gold per night that you guys are in a city, just for like general food and drinks, instead of having it just be like somewhat quote unquote free unless I ask you. So we'll probably do it that way. And then when you go out into the wilderness, depending on what the contract is, I'll have them be like, hey, this is 3 days supply. So if it takes more than 3 days to do the thing, unless you buy provisions on your own, that's when shit starts hitting the fan. So that's what I'll probably do, because that'll make it more enticing to where, all right, not only do we have to finish this fucking contract, but we gotta eat. Your boy's hungry. So
Okay. Also, upon that, so Goodberry. To say we
yeah,
are
good berry.
like,
Yeah, if you guys eat a good berry, you don't have to eat for the rest of the day, because that's
yeah,
how
no, but
it
just
works.
do
In
we
my
want to
eyes.
for like just like for Goodberry specifically? Do we want to make it that the spell component for that spell is consumed upon using it? Because like that could just be abused. Like every day I wake up, I cast Goodberry, and then like we don't have to worry about that for the entire time we're outside.
Funny thing is that's exactly what I do in Martin's campaign.
Okay,
And
okay, good.
yeah, if you
Because it's
guys,
just
if you, well, no, I cast Goodberry before I go to bed. So one, I get my spell slot back because they last 24 hours, and two, I have 10 good berries that I eat one the next day and don't have to worry about food. Since
okay.
this is not a survival campaign, I do not care if Goodberry is used in an abusive manner, because it honestly doesn't really matter. It takes a
Okay.
spell slot, so like you're
No, just
still
if
having to
you're okay
use
with
it.
that. Okay, so either way, like either way is fine with me.
Yeah,
But if
I'm
you're okay
fine
with
with
it,
it.
okay.
Yeah, if
And
you guys
then
are out in the wilderness and run out of food, and now all of a sudden the druid has Goodberry ready, hey, we're good.
okay,
It's more.
Yeah,
This
boy.
is yeah. This is more how life like you guys want it to be. I don't want to really run a survival campaign because it feels like it's more of a headache than it should be.
yeah,
But like I can make it to where there are consequences if you guys go too long without food or water. Probably just give you guys exhaustion and stuff like that. But yeah,
okay.
yeah. Goodberry is on the table. It's a dope spell. I like it a lot. Top 5 favorite spells ever.
So, am I allowed to ask Kirsten if she's taking it, and don't answer unless Brady tells us? That'd be too metagamey, I'm guessing.
I feel like asking characters, "Hey, what spells do you got ready?"
Yeah,
is
that's
more
metagamey.
metagamey, and you know, but that's how immersive do you guys want it, is really kind of how that boils down to. If you guys
Okay,
want to be able to talk to each other, "Hey, I'm gonna take this spell because I think we need it," or if you want to just find out, "Hey, do you have anything that would do this?" Yeah, I can. I think I can prepare something like it's up to you guys how immersive you want it to be in regards
okay.
to spells that people are taking. So
I kind of like the second option where we kind of learn as we go. It's like, oh,
yeah,
you can use this because I saw them use it, you know.
yeah. In Martin's campaign, Ematep likes to ask those questions, and if he asks me specifically, I tell him, "Guess we'll find out." Hey, do you have that spell that does this specific thing? Yeah, well, I don't know. Do I? Let me think. And then I role play it, and I'm like, I don't know. Sorry, Wolcaw. So, yeah, that's up to the players if you want to ready that information or not. I think it's a lot more fun to have to discover what
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
characters are capable of in character as opposed to player wise.
Okay.
Next thing, do we want to use crafting, potion making, and enchanting rules? Because if we do, I have things for that, and if we don't, then we don't have to worry about it. This is a sort of medium style magic campaign, so it's not high magic. There's not, everybody's just running around with +1 swords. It's not low magic to where, man, have you heard of the Sword of Mystery that's been lost for years and years? I mean, there are artifacts that I plan to plant throughout the campaign, but not everyone is going to have magical items. So if we want crafting and enchanting, The crafting will be, you know, building swords and you can sell them and stuff like that, or you can build your next thing of armor if you collect all the stuff that's needed for it. The potions, based on the location, will determine what sort of ingredients you would find and what type of potions. Would be based on if you are proficient in alchemy tools and stuff like that. And then enchanting would be very, very based on, I guess, your level.
So Martine, the guy that the gnome that ran the shop, would are you asking like if we choose to have enchanting or not? Would he be in the game? Like, where does he fall into this mix?
I plan on having, like, there are people that'll be in the campaign that will be able to enchant items for you at a very steep cost. I'm asking if you want to be able to enchant your own shit based on the enchanting rules that I have found.
What are the enchanting rules that you have found?
You do a series of dice rolls, and you have to use a series of enchanting slots, and also have to provide a lot of material components to enchant your weapon. If things go astray, it blows up in your face. But it's very die roll heavy to see if it works or not.
Sure, I like it.
And how would we know how to do these things?
I mean, I would give you, if you say you want to do them, I'll make sure you know how to do them.
No, I'm saying like, you know, like I want to enchant my thing to deal like +4, like, you know, poison damage. Like, how would we learn how to do that? That's what I'm saying. Like, how do we learn
I'll figure
skills
it out.
to do that?
Right
Okay.
now, I'm asking if you want that to be a possibility. Don't worry about the details. Is a yes or no question. Do you want crafting, potions, making, and enchanting that your characters do? Or do you want it just to be an NPC service that you go in, hey, what do you got? Well, this is what I've made in the past. I'm asking, do your characters want to do this?
Like, level appropriately. Yeah, like, it has to be something we like work towards or learn how to. Yeah. Okay.
Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And not everyone needs to do it. If some of you are a no, you don't have to worry about these rules at all. But those of you that are a yes, I'll make sure to brush up on the crafting and such. I will make it to where in order to do the crafting yourself, you have to be proficient in the tools that are needed for various crafting. I plan to use the tools that are on Xanathar's guide. I believe, what page is it? There's somewhere in it. There it is. Tool proficiencies, page 78 of Xanathar's guide. So that should tell you a general gist of, hey, this is what you need to be good at in order to make this kind of thing. So that's essentially how that's going to go. But I will add crafting to the game. If I think you need the rules, I will send them to you. Otherwise, I will keep them and you can learn and take notes. Let's see. Do you guys want more of what you say and describe your character doing to matter, or do you want the dice to tell you if your character is able to do stuff? So do you want the dice to matter more or less? Or do you want a mix?
Bit of both.
Say that one more time.
Do you want it to be, if your character is, you know, usually good at doing something, do you want it to be based on how you describe it, they complete it? Or if you describe it in a real shitty way, they don't? Or do you want it to be, they roll the die and see where it falls?
A mix of both.
Yeah, I figured it'd be a mix, but I figured I'd ask just in case.
I think maybe if you're proficient, not that the rolls don't necessarily matter, but they don't quite matter as much. But if you're not proficient, then yeah, you have to roll for it.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna. If you're attempting to do something you're not proficient in, the roll will decide. If you are proficient, more than likely, depending on what exactly it is you are trying to do, I'll either ask for the roll or not. So that's how we'll probably go with that. I don't remember I don't know if any of you remember when we were fighting the spiders in Old Cragstorm, how I tried a player perception check, and only Emotep heard it, but he didn't say anything with it. Essentially, when you guys were burning those egg sacs, there were spiders hanging above you, but no one was looking up. So they made a sound. Emotep was like, "What was that?" And then none of you did anything, and then the spiders caught you off guard. Do you guys want more of that? Do we want like me to off screen roll a character perception, and depending on the roll be like, Oswald, all of a sudden you kind of hear this like crickling sound and you look up and you're like, oh fuck.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
The player perception.
Yeah.
It's cooler than just saying, "Hey, roll perception." Then someone knows something's gonna happen.
Okay.
All
And
right,
of course
that is
it'll
kind
be
of little metagaming. Even if your character doesn't know, the player now knows. I'm gonna need to be careful now.
Yeah. So I'll make it to where like some things like it'll be mostly fun. I'll do like if your player's like, hey, hold on, did I hear it? Because I mean I use a soundboard. I think my soundboard's really loud, but I'll probably upload the sounds to the game so I can make the volume less. But it'll be like, yeah, you hear in the middle, like as the song's going, you hear something that's just weird, like, and you pick up on it. You're like, hold on, is that a thing? And then at that point, I would probably go on with because you heard that, you see this now, and you're like, oh shit, cool. So I'll add some elements of it. Obviously, I've got a macro where it rolls all of your perceptions, and I like that. So I'll be doing a mix of both, but I just wanted to see if you guys wanted it completely off the table or not. All right, so when it comes to people not being able to show up for the campaign, do we want that character to join along in the quest and someone will run them as an NPC, or do we want them to just sideline it and do their own thing?
Possibly. Wait, what was the beginning part of it? Like, say it one more time.
Someone else controls that character for the session until that player comes back. It kind of like the way I've got the campaign set up now, it makes sense for the character to be put onto a different team for the day, or if you guys really want them to come along, so that and that would be up to the player if they want people to control their NPC. I guess in theory, this could be something that we would discuss if you're like, hey, I can't show up next week, and I'll ask you, but just keep it in mind that we'll either NPC them and someone in the party will run them. If no one wants to run them, then they will just go and do their own thing. If you guys are already out in the wilderness and stuff, that's where it kind of gets to where I'll probably have someone NPC them anyway, regardless of if they want to or not. So, but I just wanted to bring that up.
I think maybe we could, if it's something, I think there should be like we can go off on our own. Like maybe like since not enough people showed up, but the people are there, maybe they can do a side quest. Maybe they gain like a super minor magic, or like a minor magical item or something like that, or just maybe just a side quest. Maybe we get like, oh well, we got this potion and if somebody gets knocked out, it can give them like 1 hit point or something like that. Just throwing some stuff out there, but I would think like side quests would be cool. It gives us a chance to do them, just in case we don't have the whole party there, and it's a little bit easier. That way, we won't have to like use a campaign for it.
Okay, cool. The next thing on the surveys, it said, is there anything that you're not comfortable with? Sexual violence and rape was one thing that was put on there, and I definitely don't plan on doing any of that in this campaign at all. If you want that, you can leave and go play another campaign. Also, no one wanted to roleplay sex, and that is perfectly fine. I don't want to roleplay sex either. So, if for whatever reason your character seduces somebody and goes behind closed doors, that character is now doing that thing. It fades to black. They're no longer a part of whatever the rest of the day has to offer. If they really want
So
to,
it's like a PG-13 movie.
Exactly, yeah. It just goes behind the door shuts, and we have no idea what happened after that. You can play it in your head if you want to. But to caveat off of that, how do you guys feel about the how like did we were we uncomfortable with like the racism that the elves had towards other races? Are we uncomfortable with there being slave trades around the continent and stuff like that? Slavery being a thing. Do we want that kind of stuff in here to where you guys have to solve that problem, or do we not even want to deal with it?
I mean, you can keep it in there. I mean, you weren't really offensive, and I wasn't offended by it. Like maybe it could be part of a mission. Maybe some characters might want to use that in their backstory. You know, maybe they
Yeah.
hate it, and they would definitely want to take this mission and stop the slave trader. Maybe they'll kill the slave trader. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, I like the idea of just like I think it adds to the like medieval setting. It is a medieval setting. I forgot to ask that. Or what
It's
is it?
generally
Fantasy.
medieval-ish it's more fantasy, yeah. Because if it
Okay.
was medieval, mages would not exist. So
Yes, yes. I
so it's
think it
fantasy,
fits
and
the
yeah,
world.
slavery usually is like a thing back in those times in a lot of the movies and stuff. Slavery's a thing, but I just want to make sure that everyone's comfortable if we do come up on, watching the slave trader and working these dudes like mules and beating the shit out of them because they're not working and they're getting underfed. Like, I don't want to make sure it ruffles anyone's feathers or anything like that, so
Okay.
I'll make sure to add it. I won't make anything too gruesome because I believe that was one of the questions, like how grim do you want it to be, and I think it was about medium. Next thing I
You
have...
forgot clowns.
Oh no, clowns are in the game. Clowns are in the game because I have an NPC ready to go that's a clown.
God damn it.
Don't worry, they're not going to be like the creepy... Actually, no, I guess it's like Pennywise, kind of, so it'll
Clowns
be
from
fun.
space kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Should be fun.
I want to see that movie. The sequel's gonna be good.
I have decided that I do want to try out a new set of inspiration rules that I found. Essentially, what it is it's called the campfire chat. Whenever you guys are doing a short rest or a long rest or hanging out in the tavern, I will open it up to roleplay. And if you guys, if more than one person actively like roleplay something from your backstory or tells a story about the character's backstory, it could be either something that you have written up or something that you made up. It could be something completely bullshit. Regardless, if you guys proactively do this and more than two or more than one person takes place, I will have you guys as a group vote, and whoever did it the best gets inspiration until they use it. And the way inspiration works is you use your inspiration and it's essentially like lucky. It's almost exactly like lucky. It gives you advantage on a die roll, or you can give disadvantage to somebody else's die roll, like someone attacking you.
And when would this take place? Like the decision making for who gets it?
So the decision would be coming down to the players. Everyone would have to vote. If someone doesn't vote or refuses to vote for whatever reason, no one will get it, and then
Or I should say, the event that like the thing we're acting out to get inspiration. I'm guessing. Like when would that take place in the day?
Let's say you guys are traveling and it's going to be a couple hours before you get your destination. Like as you guys are riding on your horses, you could sit there and like call out and be like, "Hey, did I ever tell you about this time that I brought a jackass and a honeycomb into a brothel?"
Haha, I see what you're doing there.
And then yeah, you would sit there and you would tell a story. And if someone else tells a story, at that point, two of you are starting to do the campfire chat rules, and whichever one gets voted the most will end up getting inspiration.
Okay, so it's more of just like pass the time RP thing. That's when.
Yeah, exactly. It's something. It's something to get everybody like some practice when it comes to role playing. It also helps you guys find out more lore of the world, or actually find out more about other people's characters instead of being like, "Yeah, he's with us. I actually don't even remember his name or what he's here for, but he's here." You know.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
And just to clarify, there doesn't need to be an actual campfire, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's just this is what the dude called it because usually his players don't talk unless they're taking a long rest. But I plan to use it if there's any point in time where there's like, space where you guys could sit there and have a chat. Like you guys could tell stories about your character and get inspiration possibly.
Interessante.
Yeah, so that'll be a thing. We'll give the crit, fumble, and hit chart a try. When it comes to the monsters that I throw at you guys, there have been some monsters where if you fail the dice roll, very bad things happen to your character, such as lycanthropes. Dario would have been a werebore, but because of you guys being able to find that solution and he rolled pretty good on his constitution, he did not turn into one. Do you guys want those effects to be in the campaign?
Yes.
Or do you... Yes?
Sure.
And
what do
this
you have?
also
What else do
goes
you
for
have in mind?
things like petrification. Maybe there's something that could banish you from the realm of existence. There's a lot of things where if you fail the roll, your character's probably screwed. Do you want those
Yeah, sounds
kind of
fun.
things?
So like, I fall down the hill. I tumble because I get like a low strength or constitution check. I tumble like down the 40-foot like.
No. I'm saying creatures that have these
Creatures,
abilities. 'Cause there's a
okay.
lot of creatures that can take away a lot of player agency to where it's like, well, what could I have done different? It's like, you could have not fought him, and that would have fixed it, But if you guys aren't cool with these, because I threw a couple of these creatures at them, and luckily you guys rolled high enough. But if you guys are cool with it, I've got a whole new book of creatures that have a lot of these effects, and they sound really cool. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm down
I
for
don't
it.
ever want your hard work to go wasted. Do it.
Okay, and I guess this kind of goes in lieu with, I think only one person was not really cool with them losing their character, and I almost believe that was Kirsten. You were the only one that said you'd be upset if your character died. Everyone else was pretty much, kill him, fuck it.
Wow.
I mean, I'd be very sad.
heartless.
I'd be sad,
Whoa.
but
I mean,
I think
I would be.
I have so
mine's
many
more
characters
like
on
a
standby.
middling.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's
when
more along the
Yen
lines of like I prefer not to die, but I mean if it happens, it happens.
Okay.
So.
I mean, like, it's not gonna be like, well, I want you to undo my death, but I mean,
Right.
I'll be
No,
sad
yeah.
if my character dies for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an
Okay.
extension of me. I am literally making personas.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I just can't
okay.
Persona.
That's
No,
why
Brady. I
was,
expect my
asking.
character to be immortal. They cannot be killed.
Plot.
No, and this
Ideas on
also
Plot
goes
twist.
into this goes into my next point. How difficult do you want the campaign to sort of be? Do you want it to be to where like almost every encounter could be your last, or do you want it to be
No.
some easy, some hard, a mix?
a mix, kind of like
I
how.
guess a mix, just depending on how high level we are or what mission we're on or
Yeah.
what territory we're in.
It's like when we're going down like into WoW or whatever, and there's like a different area where like you will die if you go here. Probably shouldn't go here, and then we go there
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, I kind of want to
Something
feel
like
the power of my character. So if we're like fighting easy stuff, I'll be okay with it. And then every now and again, just throw in some dude that just fuck shit up.
Just
Okay,
kind of
cool.
like, because last time you said like the owls weren't even supposed to really be like that. It just
No, it
happened
was
that
just
way.
bad rolls, which comes to that whole player agency thing. Like, are you cool
Yeah.
with save or dice? Kind of thing. Save or die. I mean, so yeah. So there, I planned on not always throwing just deadly encounters at you guys. I guess it really depends on how much has been done through that day. Like if you guys have gone through the whole long rest without doing anything, you're like, let's go fight a thing. Yeah, it's probably going to be a deadly encounter. But if you start the day off, fighting stuff, it'll be easy, and then maybe a really hard one somewhere in there, and then it'll go back to easy. But I got the gist of what I needed with that question. With the encumbrance, I plan to do the same kind of thing. I plan to keep it simple. If it makes sense that your character can carry that much weight, we will do it. If it does not make sense, like someone holding a whole table and trying to put it in a bag of holding, Jeff, then it's not going to happen.
What? I don't
You know
what you're
damn
talking
well what
about.
I'm talking about.
I was
I was there
scooping.
for that.
I was scooping everything off the top, and then I heard a voice, and she's like very angry, and
No,
it
you
happens.
told me specifically, can I take the table? It's like, fuck no, you can't take the table. Like,
I mean, if it's not bolted down in a raised
Can I
legs.
empty the house?
with magic items, I plan to still do the same thing where you touch a magic item and it sends a surge of magical energy in your hand so you know it's magical. Obviously, the identify spell will tell you what its properties are, but I can add something to where there's an extra benefit to some of them, but you have to figure it out. Do you guys think that would be cool, or do you think it's a waste of time?
I
I
like
think it would
it.
be cool.
All right.
I like
So
it.
somebody needs an appraisal spell.
Yeah, like some items you grab and like over the course of the day, like nothing special happens, and then at some point it starts speaking to you, and you're like, "What?" And it's like, I've chosen you because you like to eat good berries, and I love good berries. I can also cast good, but something stupid like that. But it won't be stupid. It'll be fun. With the way the day and the night cycle work, a typical day will allow one long rest every 16 hours, 2 short rests in between, and the short rests are an hour long. Once you push past the 24-hour mark of a day, so once your character has been awake, so you don't have to long rest every 16 hours, but after 16 hours is up, you can long rest. And once you push past that 24-hour mark, that's when the exhaustion rules will start coming into play. Con saves will be made, stuff like that. So I want to make sure that that is known, because I didn't really do too well on the exhaustion, but I don't think we really had too many instances where it came up. But I do plan, now that we're more than likely, you guys aren't going to be in a city all the time with these contracts. You're going to have to go out in the wilderness and spend a couple days, so I want to make sure that's known. The long rest rules is that you can do a light watch or light work or reading and stuff for 2 hours of it, and then after that you have to literally pass out and fall asleep in order to get back all your stuff. I plan to enforce that this time to make it to where the long rest actually matter, unless you guys are in a city. If you guys are in a city, doesn't matter unless I have an encounter with some assassin trying to kill you. Might happen. Speaking of assassins, how do you guys want to do if you sneak up on an unconscious person and stab them in the neck? Do you want them to outright die? Do you want them to, like, you have to roll your normal damage dice? The thing is, whatever you pick, enemies can do this to you as well.
No. So if we stab someone in the neck and they don't take the damage to die, they should like get up with the knife still in their neck and like
I think it should be based on
stare at you while they pull it out.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I think what I want to do with this, like, let me reiterate a little bit. Based on the creature that you're trying to quote-unquote assassinate, if they are of lower HP than you are, I would allow you to be able to outright kill them. But if they have higher HP, that's when it would probably, I would allow you to do half of their damage, or half of their hit points, give or take, depending on how strong this creature is. But I guess the general question is, do you want some type of like assassination attempt without a necessary die roll, or do you want?
I feel like it should play off of your like strength or dex kind
also,
of
can
thing.
we do it kind of like how we off of how we described it to you? Like maybe depending on what we're doing, maybe we want to kind of stab this guy, make him near death, get some information from him or whatever, or just gravely injure him, maybe because we need to capture him and take him back or whatever. Would that factor in as well, or is that a thing? Like, say if we have higher hit points.
No, yeah, I mean there's the whole thing is like, do you want there to be the possibility to outright just kill somebody that's unconscious? Obviously, I'm going to figure out what rules will constitute this, but I'm asking as a general opinion, yes or no. If you
Yeah.
can do it to people, they can do it back to you. That's also what I'm trying to make sure is known.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to
mean,
vote on the side of yes, but I'm just the HP
Yeah.
thing. Like, say I'm
Yeah,
a wizard.
I'll figure out the
Okay.
whole HP things and stuff, but right now I
Okay.
just want a yes or no. Do we want people to have the ability to outright just kill somebody if they're like unconscious or paralyzed, or do you want it still to where you just roll with advantage, it's an automatic crit, go from there?
Oh,
Mm,
so this matters in
I vote
combat
roll
as
with
well.
advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, roll with advantage. Then that's gonna. Last campaign, a lot of people were put unconscious and attacked, so we're gonna roll with advantage.
okay.
No assassination unless they weak as shit. Noted. If everyone would go to the journal tab and then open up the
Journal.
lore tab. Under the lore rules and handouts, I have added some things.
Interesting.
I've added the guild information. That is essentially the rules that I will be kind of using for the guild membership. Your contracts give you reputation points. The more rep you get, the higher in rank you go, the more the guild can help benefit you. The basic world information, this is kind of like basic knowledge that almost every character in the world will have unless they live under a rock. The implemented optional rules come from the Dungeon Master's Guide. If we want to use them, we can. Otherwise, they're kind of just there for you to look at. But if you really think that one of those would be cool, we'll try it. Travel rules, obviously, are there from last campaign. It's going to be the exact same thing. And then I have the calendar. If you go to that link, it will take you to the calendar. This is way easier than me having to Photoshop it every couple weeks, as I just go to that link, sign in, and add what session happened on what day. So that's where you'll find the calendar from now on. Yes. Let's see. And then I guess, so that's everything that I had on my session 0 handout thing. Real quick, based on the surveys that everyone did, the way I'm going to do with your responses is I took the average of everybody and then I rounded it to the next whole number. So the tone of the campaign is going to be somewhat serious. Obviously, there's always room for the comic relief, but the amount of silly shit that I will allow if you just constantly keep on doing silly shit, like I put a whoopee cushion under that guard. I put a whoopee cushion under that guard. Like if you keep doing that, eventually you're probably going to get thrown in jail because the masses have spoken and we want a somewhat serious campaign. The NPCs, you guys are going to have a good plethora of important NPCs to talk about, become enthralled with, really care about them, stuff like that. There will be a good amount of exploration and dungeon delving as well. So I have in the general knowledge handout that I made, there's actually a part on that that says that there's a lot of ruins and caverns that have not been explored because some people don't want to risk their life to do that. But you guys can. You're adventurers. Why the hell not? The tactics in combat, I plan, because it averaged out to a 5, which means everyone really liked it. I plan to make it to where some of the creatures that you guys fight, instead of it just being a who can outlast the other one or who gets the better die roll, there will be some creatures where you fight them and nothing is happening and you're like, what the fuck? And you have to start looking around using your action to perceive the surroundings and stuff like that. So tactics will have more of an effect in this campaign. I'll make sure that the battle maps, like I'll let you know what you see on there. Like, is there a tree that can be pushed over to kill everybody, like the villager in Super Smash, or what else is there a hole that I can throw people in? That'd be cool. Like Spartan kick somebody in the hole, that'd be neat. So there will be more of a tactics influence on combat. Maybe not in the beginning, just because, level 5, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out, but we'll find out. Looks like a lot, like it was kind of in moderation with puzzles, so there will be some puzzle challenges, and we'll deal with how to go about that. But essentially, anything that you guys say in character or in player reference will probably be in character reference. But if I can tell that someone just blatantly looked up what the puzzle was, that person will probably die. Also, kidding. Character death, obviously, we know is an option. It can happen. It will happen. The new death rules, I think, will make it to where it's a higher possibility than the last campaign. Just because if your death saves don't reset when you're getting brought back and you have to rest, it's really like this will make it to where you guys actually now have to make the conscious decision. Do we push forward knowing that, Jeff is not doing so hot right now because he's been unconscious a couple times and he took a hit? Like, he's not looking good at all.
Yeah, of
So,
course. Fuck that guy.
yeah. On the how inclined would you be to own property and stuff? A lot of you don't really give a shit, but a lot of you really give a shit. So there's gonna be a possibility for you guys to either A, create your own kingdom, B, run a tavern, or more than likely it'll be you guys can own a ship and go sail out to sea or something like that, for sure. But yeah, it was kind of like some people were really like, "Fuck this! This is not. I don't want to have to worry about that." But some people are like, "Yes, I want to
Yeah, that
own
sounds
my
fun.
own thing."
I went strip
Dallas,
club, the
you were
very
one of
first
those.
one.
Yes.
Oh,
Character. How important is a rich character background for you? A lot of you really care about the character background. Only one person, Bill, does not care. So that falls on you guys. How much you put into your backstory will determine how that gets fleshed out. I do intend for everyone to get 1 or 2 character arcs in the campaign. So eventually we will come to a place and it's like, all right, this part of the story is all about Gerald. Like, what do you want to do, my dude? So that way it sort of sheds the spotlight on people, to where we know specifically we're doing this because of your character, but everyone can have like their hand in helping this character like overcome some tragic past or something like that. So that is definitely going to be a thing in this campaign.
anime arcs.
Yeah, something like that. Just not as gay. I'm just joking.
Wow.
How morally confronting would you like the campaign to be? That is a nice even 4, or right by 4. So a lot of you wanted a very morally like, oh shit, do we do this or do we do that? Like, I don't fucking know. Either one of them sucks, but there will be a lot of those moments. Which also, I forgot to ask this question. When it comes to children, are you guys cool with them getting harassed or bullied or even killed by a bad guy?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I'd say yes, but
Kill the kids. All right.
All right.
like the moral
Slaughter them
dilemma
like
thing.
animals.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan would say,
Like the moral dilemma thing.
kids.
Like we see, like say we get into a wacky scenario, like the cart goes over the hill or whatever, and like or the cliff, and one kid's hanging on by like a branch. He's like, "Help me!" And like the other person we're trying to guard is like saying, "No, help me!" And they're on the other branch. Like we only have time to choose like one of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
So,
that kind of
all right.
stuff.
Children are on the table, but obviously no sexual things because that's fucking sick. So none of that. But children will be able to die in this campaign. It won't be like Skyrim. Anyway.
I was gonna mention Skyrim. Download that mod next
Yeah.
fall.
No, I'm joking. How do you want the campaign to center around a certain area, nation, culture, or alike? You guys were about a 4 on that. So it won't center around, it'll kind of be centered around you guys in the City of Guilds. Obviously, you'll go to other places, you'll meet other people, you'll see other cultures. But the main premise of this campaign is your part of this nation, and you are helping other nations as a part of your goals and stuff like that. So there will be, like, it's centered around the mercenary kind of work. That way we can get other people, and people can kind of come and go to the campaign without it really throwing a wrench in the plans. Then when we come to the next one, how grim do we want the world to be? And it's an even 4. So there will be some dark shit in this campaign, kind of like the last one with the eyeball stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, should be fun.
Darkness.
There will be a clown. I won't throw 1,000 clowns, don't worry. But it's going to be a dark
God.
clown. A grim clown, a grim clown. Pennywise.
All clowns are dark
Only
clowns.
one, you
He's
say?
got to torture kids.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Alright, guys, let's metagame and kill the clown immediately.
Yeah. Kill all the clowns. With the magical
character's
world, you guys, there were some folks that do not want it to be super high magic, but there's a couple that do want super high magic, and then most of you are kind of in the medium realm. So there's going to be, obviously, there's wizards out there that are teaching you guys how to be a wizard. There's going to be strong magical influences in the world, but they're not overly abundant. So the City of Guilds isn't like, oh, there's like 17 archmages here. Like, that's not a thing. There's maybe 1, maybe 2. I haven't decided how big I want the city to actually be yet. But there will be a fair amount of magical presence in the world. There might not be a fair amount of magical items, though, but we'll find out. And the idea of player versus player interactions, some of you really want to fight each other. Let's see, who was this? I think it was Jeff and Gerald. So you guys actually start out the campaign fighting. Yep.
Yeah.
Also kidding. Some of you were really cool with it. Others were not so much. So I think what we'll do is it'll be kind of a... I won't allow you guys to kill each other. That will never be allowed. You're not going to be like, hey, I want to sneak up on Jeff's character in the middle of the night and I want to slash his throat. Like, that's not going to be a thing. I'm not going to allow you guys to kill each other. But I will allow you to... you know, possibly like roleplay intimidations to take something from somebody or something like that within reason. Like, obviously, hey, give me all your clothes and shit. Nah, you can't do that. Try again. But casting your spells on other people, unless they're cast on a specific few that do not want to do player versus player, but whatever you dish out to people will be dished back to you. So just be careful with that.
Yeah.
The final thing, oh, what's up?
I'm sorry. I had a question. So I thought you meant like just inner fighting. If it's like we have a disagreement and we can roll the die, you know, we can start this combat up. You know, I'm cool with that. But I thought you meant like just I thought it meant like something that would slow down like story progression sometimes, but I misunderstood that. I'm okay with like people fighting.
Yeah. And
No, if you guys wanted to sit there and be like, no, I'm the strongest. No, I'm the strongest. I would ask you as players, do you guys want to fight each other? And if you both say yes, then I will have you roll initiative and we'll just go back and forth. You guys beating the shit out of each other. Otherwise, more than likely it'll be kind of a case by case thing, because since not everyone is about it, I don't want... Oh, thank you. Sorry, Ingrid brought me a chai.
It's all good.
Ooh, that's delicious.
Obviously,
yeah,
it's got banana in it.
It does have banana. What a smart woman you are. It does not? What does it have?
What?
Oh, it's
Not
just a
banana?
chai? No. Oh, they went to Dutch. That's
bad.
why. Does Dutch even have banana?
I don't think they do.
But I got you a blended one so that you wouldn't drink it so fast.
I will drink it way fast.
I know, but if I got you an ice chai, you'd finish it in like 2 minutes.
That's true, yeah. So yeah, when it comes to the player versus player interactions, they aren't off the table, but it'll come kind of case by case, I think is how I'll do it. Just because I really don't want you guys to end up pissing each other off and make it to where the players hate each other, not just the characters, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, it's called player versus player.
Yeah.
I understand that.
When I voted for it, it was more along the lines of, say, the backstory of a character conflicted with another one, and they needed to do something that other characters didn't exactly want, or there could be grounds for conflict or whatnot. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Oh yeah, don't worry. There's definitely the whole way I've got the whole world set up. There's going to be a lot of inter-party conflict, where you're going to be like, well, I understand you guys don't like where I'm come from, but these are my people. I can't let you just slaughter everybody. Like, I'm standing in your way. Quit. You know, that's the kind of thing that I'm hoping will happen, those kind of dramatic moments to where then you're like, but we got to do this. Like, this is our job. And now you have to sit there and come together and figure out, okay, what else can we do? Because there's always a third option. Always.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing, how explicit do we want the campaign to be? And it was almost a Firewall 5. Who did this? Who did this 3? Kirsten, why'd you do this 3?
What do you mean by explicit? Please define.
I was kind of going with. Actually, let's go to the thing. Can I take the questions? I'd rather not be confronted with disturbing, offensive content, or I can deal with such content. So this is kind of like the slavery thing, the racism thing. This would also
that's
be
fine.
sort of the grim and dark stuff. Like, are you cool with somebody being sacrificed for a god just because?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Oh yeah.
So in that
So-
case, it is a. I will change your answer to a 5, and it will be our only Firewall 5.
Has anyone played Mountain Blade Warband?
Yes.
Like the salt mines? When I think of explicit stuff, it's like I'm so the salt mines. I don't know, just I don't know. That just cracks me up every time.
The final thing we'll go over with this survey is the very first thing, what you're most interested in. 4 out of 6 people want to explore ancient ruins and dungeons, so there will be plenty of that. All of you want to fight nasty monsters, which is a good reason why I asked with the player agency and certain monster effects. 4 of you were into magic loot and stuff. I'll make sure there's an equal amount of magic loot. But Jeff, we have to make sure your character doesn't just fucking take everything.
Well, if no one opposes me.
Political intrigue was and complex plots. Only one person didn't like the thought of that. But there will be quite a bit of political intrigue, which is why there's 9 empires. Developing a fleshed backstory. 5 of you are I guess, going to send me some George R.R. Martin novels here soon, hopefully. My email is found below. And becoming a major player in the campaign. 5 of you wanted to do that out of the 7 that I asked. Bill was one of these, but I should take out his response, honestly, since he's not even here. Anyway, yeah, so I will actually put this spreadsheet available for everyone to look at. That way you can kind of see, because this is what I'm basing the campaign off of, is this survey plus the stuff that I just asked you guys. I guess we'll open it up. Actually, let's all take a quick bathroom break because I'm about to explode. So let's take a bathroom break, and once we get back, if you guys are done with your characters, we have enough time to run a test combat.
I don't know if I am done. This is the first time I made it on my own, so I don't know if
I know I'm not done. My character. I should have started a new sheet and it would have been easier because I don't know what carried over. I fucked up.
Okay. I'll be right back, though.
Okay, so just to let everybody know, I am playing a legit healer or somebody of healing capabilities.
Sweet.
Where you going? What? Oh, never mind, I lost interest.
All right, I'm back. If if anyone wants to add anything to our discussion that we can all talk about, feel free at any point, obviously during the campaign. But if you think that there's something that I missed in this session 0, you can go ahead and bring it up and we can discuss it.
That's exactly what I was hoping for.
Kidding, by the way. Who needs help with their character?
Me.
Picking spells is a pain.
That's true, especially with.
Yeah, I think I need help too.
Okay. So I think at this point, we won't be getting into combat. So we'll do that next week for sure. Next week is Father's Day. I know Friday I'll be playing Martin's campaign. Saturday I work, and then I'm going to McCall after. The only time I'd be able to play would be Sunday. But if too many people are doing Father's Day stuff, then what we'll probably do is we'll just, have to have a week gap or a week off in between session 0 and session 1. Because I know next week you work, right, Reed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so next week you would definitely have your time constraint. So is anyone doing anything on Sunday around 1 Mountain Time to 5 Mountain Time, or would we be able to play then?
Let me see my schedule real quick.
I'll be available right until 5 Mountain Time.
Well, yeah, I know you and Martin will be. In worst case scenario, you can roll out beforehand.
Yeah.
I ain't got no daddy, bruh. Yeah, but I'm free though.
I'll be
yeah.
transition.
So dark.
I'll be
Jeff, you'll be doing your thing.
Yeah. Be coming back from work.
You mean until 4 p.m. or Mountain Time, right, Kyle? Or are we changing the time?
What? No, we started. I thought we were starting at 6 Central, 7.
You have 6 EST here listed.
Oh, that's 4 Mountain. Okay, well, there you go. 4
Yeah,
Mountain.
worst case, you roll out if you need to. I know with your campaign being on Sunday, more than likely, both of you might not be available for a whole session if we have to do Sunday sessions, but that's a whole
I'll
perk
play
of doing
2
a mercenary.
campaigns at the same time.
Yeah, Martin's gonna
My
have.
power will be infinite.
Martin's gonna have an earbud hooked up to 2 different computers at the same time. 2 different Discords at the same time.
Yeah, that'll be fun, I guess. We'll see. Worst case, if it gets annoying, we'll discuss it then. But I really don't want to do session 1 unless we have all the core group. So how about this? How about next week we just cancel and we play the week after that on the 22nd? Does the 22nd work for everybody? At 1:30 Mountain Time. As of now.
Yeah.
No.
No. Do you work every Saturday now?
Yes, I've always worked every Saturday.
Interesting. What time do you usually get off?
3:30 Central Time.
Yeah, so that's 2:30 my time. Fuck. Guess we'll just have to get it figured out. What about the Sunday then? The 23rd?
I am free Sundays and Mondays. I am free.
Okay. Because Sunday we could do it to where we do session 1 on the 23rd. That way, Reed doesn't have to work, so if it does carry over a little bit, he's fine. You're good. I think Kirsten's good. The only person that wouldn't be good would be Martin, but he would just have to roll out early. But more than likely, the beginning of the session will be done, and you guys will be kind of just like palling around, learning about the city and stuff, which is fine if he kind of just like trails off and goes on his own for a little bit. I won't make it to where if someone has to leave, I won't make the session last too much longer after that person leaves, because I don't like the whole thought of, we continue to play for 4 hours. Oh my god, bro, you missed so much cool shit. Like, I don't want that to happen. If someone's there for the session but they gotta roll out, like life happens, I understand. So let's plan on playing on the 23rd of June. That is a Sunday, and let's shoot for 1 p.m. Mountain Time for session 1. That way it also gives us plenty of time in between now and then for you to look over your character, make sure everything's good, pick out all your spells. I also I looked over the rules in the Dungeon Master Guide real quick about what to give you guys starting out. So everyone go ahead and add this to your character sheet. Everyone gets 500 gold. And then I need everyone to roll a d10 for me. Okay, and whatever you roll on that d10, multiply it by 25 and add that additional amount of gold. And then in the player's handbook, underneath whatever class you have chosen to play, under the starting equipment, just go through that thing and add. You can either do the equipment like normal, to where you get a free, like for the barbarian for instance, you either get a great axe or any martial melee weapon. You also get either 2 hand axes or a simple weapon, and you get an explorer packs and 4 javelins. Go through that whole thing and add that to your character sheet. That'll be your starting equipment. After we finish the first part of session 1, that is when you'll be able to go in and use your gold to purchase other stuff. You guys will be starting out in the guild information. You guys will be starting out as journeymen in the guild. Obviously, your apprentices as you're learning your class. Once you graduate, which is essentially what we'll be doing, is a graduation quote-unquote combat to make sure you guys are ready to leave the academy or whatever. That's when you become journeymen, and it opens up more possibilities for what weapons you get. If your character has a specific style of weapon or armor that they're looking to get, such as Reed, we've already discussed offline how we're going to deal with that. But let me know if there's something that's like that seems like it might be kind of OP. Like if you want plate mail, for instance, I'm not giving anyone plate mail because that shit is expensive, and there's no way that some apprentices are going to have plate mail in the game to start out with. So stuff like that, bring it up to me offline and we'll figure out what you'll start with. Other than that, if your character is done and you have nothing else to add, we are essentially done with session 0. I'm gonna stay until I have to leave to help you guys finish your character sheets. And if at any point in time I want to make sure that it's an open forum, if you have an issue with how the game's being ran, or you want something to be more prominent, let me know. I want to have that open communication with my players so that we can have a fun time together when we play, because ultimately that's the goal.
Question.
Answer.
With backgrounds, so in the handbook, there's a bunch of different backgrounds.
Correct.
We are allowed to pick these backgrounds, correct?
Yeah, any of the backgrounds are free. Whatever you pick, I have developed in my head the various roleplay opportunities that will come from that background. I also believe there's other backgrounds you can choose from in Xanathar's Guide, or maybe it's the Lost
There's
Notes.
a dead background.
Yeah, where you were dead and brought back to life. That will be one of your 3 strikes if you choose that one.
Interesting.
And if you die another 2 times, you are dead forever.
So these come with the proficiencies and the
correct
items as well?
Yeah, remember when you picked the background when you guys were talking to goblins so you could have the goblin language that you didn't have before? Remember that, Jeff?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing this before. If you fail to choose a background, I will choose it for you. How about that?
Okay. And then I see other things like the events that happened. Are we going to roll for those or no?
So the table's there for you to develop your character. If you really
Okay.
want to roleplay one of those things, like that's what it's for. I obviously can't force anyone to roleplay. I have not really attempted it, but I don't think that if there's something you don't really want to do in this game, that you shouldn't be forced to do it. So you can pick from that table as little or as much as you want. I highly recommend going through Xanathar's Guide to Everything on page 61. This is your life section. Really, really good resource for you to roll on various tables to sort of figure out who is my character actually. It's actually really fun to do too, like some of the possibilities and stuff. And if you want more resources like that, I have a lot of them. You can let me know and I can send them your way.
Okay. Well, interesting.
Yes. Actually, I think there was one other thing that I meant to ask, but I can't fucking remember what it was. Did anybody choose a homebrew class besides the merfolk?
Yo, we got fish people?
We
You
might.
mean homebrew race?
Yeah, homebrew race. I know there's at least 3 homebrew classes that have been chosen, but if
Okay,
anyone chose a homebrew
alright.
race. Oh yeah,
I don't
Dallas,
think
didn't
so.
you say you needed to talk to me about it for some reason?
Yeah.
I don't
All right.
think mine's is, right? That's official.
It is.
Okay, good.
Pretty sure it's playing
I
Shift
think I have the book.
Zendikar.
I think I have the book, so I was
You
just
should.
making
I
sure.
sent it to you.
Yeah, I have it. Never mind.
Cool. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go talk to Dallas. He wants some daddy time, I guess. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh
Just
my
kidding.
god.
It's canon.
Just kidding. But yeah, I'll be right back. If you have, actually, if you've already finished creating your character, feel free to help anyone else that needs help. If you need to go to a different channel to do it, like, then we can. Otherwise, if you're all done, we will see you later if you want to leave. Appreciate
Yeah, we're
everyone
going.
coming out, and I think this will be a really fun campaign.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Well, thank you. And we're going to level 5, right?
Yeah, you're at level 5.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, and I'll roll everyone's HP and put the rolls in there once you've got all your stat points like associated and stuff like that. If you can send me a photo that you want to serve as your token, that would be lovely, and then I'll make your token for you as well. Otherwise, yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, what up, dude?
Oh, snap. Okay, so I do. Luckily, while we were talking, I found some pretty dope ones, but one specifically, I'm gonna definitely have to send you. Now I looked through one, and I didn't see this before, but like it's some extra traits, and some are OP, so you can take that whole section out. I generally do not care. There is just I'm gonna send it to you so you can follow on.
Yeah.
Copy.
If it's from that one website, it's banned already, just so you know.
What website?
That website you got that stupid samurai from.
Nah, this is a different website. Don't hey, let's not ban it already. We don't know the good it can do for the hood. Now the traits seem moderately fair. It's like, well, I don't DM, so they don't seem too bad. And then like the subclass branch seems okay. Like I said, you can still view it.
This is that website, dude.
No, it's a different one.
No, it's not.
completely...
It's the same fucking website. I'll prove it to you right now. Watch this. D&D 5e Samurai Homebrew. And look at, oh, would you look at that? dndwiki.com.
No,
it's the exact same place, bro. Look at that. You see that? Roasted. Get your ass out of here. We're not playing no demigod. Get the fuck. Are you
Just
kidding?
read it. It's not even OP.
Nah.
Okay, it is the same website. I didn't see that. I thought
It's
it
the
came from
exact
Southern.
same. Let's see. Your ability increases based on your godly parents. So you have to
You can
pick one
braid
of
it.
these.
You can braid it up, and I just want the Tempest, which plays into my backstory. You can. I don't even need the general traits because they seem
Size, that
moderately
makes
OP.
sense. Age. 100 years naturally. Okay.
Does age
Okay.
matter?
Oh yeah. If you for instance say that you want to play an 80-year-old human, you're going to probably die before you reach level 20, depending on how long it takes. But there's some characters that have that effect, and where if you roll really shit, bad things happen, and the older you are, the worse off it would be.
I had no
Let's
idea.
see. Fated. The threads of fate. When you roll a 1 on an attack roll, ability, or saving throw, you can re-roll the die and must. So that's essentially the lucky feature from the halfling. Let me go and read that and see exactly how it translates, and if it's too powerful. Because, I mean, yeah, I'm cool with letting you do a homebrew race. I want to make sure that's clear. This website is just insane and stupid. I just want to make sure that is also clear.
It is. That's
Okay.
why I want to text you.
So the halfling, that's essentially the halfling lucky trait, is the
I don't
fated.
have
So
that.
that is fine. That is fine. Your connection to the divine is strong, and the strength gives you away to others. Creatures with the celestial fate or fiend creature type, as well as creatures with a divine connection, know you are a demigod. Successful intelligence can be done against your deception to discern who your godly parent is. In addition, if you are a divine class such as cleric, you must choose the domain your god. Okay, that just kind of makes it to where very role p wise, or roleplay wise, I should say. Role p, what the fuck is that? Roleplay wise, like if you come into contact with creatures that are somewhat of the divine and sort of almost godly domains, they would know. They'd look at you and in one blink of an eye, they'd be like, "Huh, you're a demigod. Interesting." And then that's when the party'd be like, "What the fuck?" We're
Yeah, and I
rolling
thought
around
that
with a demigod.
could also be like play into like, cause you say you're gonna make it more verse to where like maybe there's some dude that's out here hunting demigods. He's like, oh no, I want you dead. A demigod killed like my dog or something.
Well, yeah, you got an iced one. I got blended, so I have to shake it up constantly to make sure the straw gets it. Yeah, I don't like it. I know you did, and I love you, but fuck. No, I want. No, if you had cinnamon in it, it would. If you've ever, obviously, have you had sweet tea before? I've brewed a sweet tea with cinnamon in it, and that tastes like Christmas. It's delicious. It's really good. What were we saying? Oh, yeah. What is this divine domain ability score increase? Oh. Your ability score increased based on the divine domain of your godly parents. Okay, so
I picked Tempest. So you just scroll to Tempest. Ignore general traits; those are incredibly OP.
So you get 2 to charisma and 1 to strength. Okay.
So now, just if you scroll down and take a look at the Tempest one, and let me know, like at the abilities.
Oh, this is that. Okay, let's see. With the wind. Wow, look at all that shit it gives you. Why? Yeah, some of I can't give you all of those for sure. Just because that's like, yeah, this is just like that fucking samurai class. I'll probably let you pick some of those like general tempest things, but if that's not like what exactly are you trying to get from this? Because the way the homebrew was made, the way it's played out is that whoever made this is just trying to make it to where this race makes it to where whatever you pick, like the race on its own without a class could be strong and fuck shit up, which is stupid.
Yeah, I did see that. First, I thought I like the top traits at first. They were pretty cool. I didn't really generally like don't races normally give you like a couple of ability, like a couple maybe attack and or ability type things, and then like some general stuff.
So like let's just because I'm on the halfling right now, the halfling will give you a dexterity score increase. So this one gives you the same sort of thing. It'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
your size and all that stuff. So it gives you a little feature, lucky. So you got that with your divine or your fated. Then it gives you brave. They get advantage on ability saving throws from being frightened. So that would go around with the one of the first, or no. Choose an option. One of the first portfolio things, I think. Yeah, one of those. The halfling nimbleness, they can move through a space, any creature, so that would be the roleplay portion of it, which would be the deflectel. Deflect? I don't know what that means. I've never seen that word in my life. I'm about to Google it. I want to know. From or being a god. Okay. Interesting. Anyways, yeah, that would be that. And then you get to choose a sub-race with the halfling, which is essentially you choosing the divine domain that your god parents were. They get another ability score increase, and they get one other thing. This one gets naturally stealthy, so they can use their bonus action to try to hide. Or no, they can attempt to hide when they're obscured by a creature that it is least one size larger than you. So by that, after the mortal parentage, I think is literally just roleplay form. That does not even do anything. You don't receive any racial traits from your. Okay, that's just saying that. Okay. Portfolio sense. You have limited ability to sense events involving their portfolios. You automatically sense no. So that would not happen.
Which one?
The portfolio sense.
Oh, I didn't figure that.
Okay.
I didn't read. I was just looking for like just general, like at the general class stuff. And hold on, I'm trying to read this.
Yeah, so the divine ability score increase, your tempest, you would increase your charisma by 2 and your strength by 1. That is fine.
What about the
You
first
would
three of Tempest? I just wrote
so
that.
the
I just wanted
yeah.
something like play useful, play useful. Like I mean, because you're talking about like shit, like because it's gonna be like a sandbox. So like, say if we get like caught in a storm, then well, and storm, if that was okay with you, like he has a resistance, lightning and thunder. Actually, not that. You let me do the whole class, which it doesn't seem too out of place. It's got a lot of flavor,
So,
but
yeah, so what you can do is you can either choose the divine domain or you can choose the divine portfolio, and you can choose one of those traits. Because otherwise, if you take the divine domain Tempest as it is, the portfolio specific, and you go down to Tempest, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're getting 6 things that should be class things. You can shoot through the sky like a bolt of lightning. Is when the 3rd level you can cast fly using this trait. Like that right there, being able to cast a 3rd level spell or a 2nd level spell rather at just because you're a dude is insane.
well,
You
so
can
you're saying I get
pick.
to choose?
You get to choose one of those, either one of those Tempest things where you get, your walking speed increases by 10, and you can take the dash action as a bonus action. You can take that as your trait, or you can go up and choose one of those divine portfolio traits. So, like, you could get death resistance. Your divine power pushes your body to continue living, and you have advantage on death saving throws. And one cantrip of your choice from the cleric spell. So essentially you can choose one thing that's bolded because if I give you all of that stuff, there's no reason for you to pick a class. Like, this might as well be a class. Is this a class?
No, this
No,
is
it
no. I
says a
told you I didn't want to
race.
pick any of the divine. I didn't want any of the divine portfolio traits.
Okay, then yeah, don't
Anything.
worry
I didn't
about
actually.
those.
Yeah, I don't. I
Yeah.
wouldn't pick anything there. So
You
if I
can
don't
pick
get
one
any,
of those Tempest things, but depending on which one, let's see, that one says 3rd level, this one says 5th level. Like, races are not supposed to give you stuff as you grow in level. That's not what they do. That's what a
oh wait, this
class is
says my
for.
stuff grows in level.
Yes, which is
Where?
another reason why this, like, if you look at the Wings of the Wind, at 3rd level you can cast the fly spell once with this trait. So yeah, this is why this, I would prefer you to pick something different, please. But if you're really adamant on it, I will allow you to pick one thing. But this
I
is
will. I know there. I really wish I could pick a fairly home class. Like I really just.
Have you not looked at all the homebrew stuff that I've posted to you guys?
Actually, now, well, I was having monitor issue, so it wasn't displaying on my phone, but I could take a
Let's
look at it now.
Let me see if I can find something that kind of rolls more with this. Sort of, because essentially, there's a bunch of monster races. There's the Chronomad, which is pretty cool. You can be a plant dude.
I am. So fly would be really
You
cool.
can be a corgi. Because why not? Have you looked at the Genasi at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know those were homebrew.
No, Genasi aren't, but I've got homebrew options for the Genasi. Adds more to them, I think. Yeah, but
Would you
you
let me
understand where I'm
take
coming
water?
from, right?
No, yeah,
This,
that's why I always ask. I don't mind. Like that's the point of
Yeah.
me trying to hear you. Like I generally, would you let me take Waterborne and Wings of the Wind?
No, only one or the other.
Okay.
Because it's just too much you're getting from that.
Okay, I'll be a pick. So while we're already on this, this is the home class. Now I haven't looked through all of it. I just kind of glanced at like make sure there was nothing that said you're invincible and stuff like that. Hold on. Here we go. I just thought it was like a outtake on the class, and it was something I was trying to do, but I didn't see anything. And
Which
if there's
class? Is it from my homebrew
no,
collection?
it was from the same website as this.
Man, get off the website, bro. I'm telling you, this
Right.
website is trash.
It is, but their ideas are they just can't.
The ideas are good, but the way that they go about it is just like, if you want, how about this? If you pick a random, or if you pick something that's not from this website for both your main character for both the race and the class, at one point in time I will allow you to become this demigod and become that samurai for like one session where you can just go out and like destroy everything that you want.
Oh, Brady, don't do this. I really want to make it fair.
I know you want to, but it's just so there's so much that has to be tweaked, and when I say tweaked, I actually mean repurposed and redone with this website. It's just, that's how trash it is. This is for people that want to play a video game, not a tabletop game.
I can get that. Okay, before you make that decision, tell me how bad this one is. The Dragonolia shift.
Send it, and I will probably hate it.
But it has a fair. I don't actually. I kind of couldn't understand the system, but it seems.
If you can't understand it, I know it's dumb. Don't even send it. I don't want to see it. I
Do it
already
for
know
me.
it. If you no, you didn't understand the samurai class and why it was so strong. I can't.
Oh,
I'm
I knew
sorry,
it
my
was
dude.
OP. I just didn't look at every. But this is so it has. Look at it first. I don't want to ruin the
I
explanation.
am gonna look at it, and I'm already telling you I know for a fact. Here it is. Yup, look at all. That's bullshit. No.
You can't. You didn't even read it.
I
There's
don't
a
need to. Look at the class features. There's 15 of them. Normal classes have 6.
where? Hold on. Where are the class features?
If you go if you go
15.
any if you go to any of the classes, your class features. Let's
Where are
count a
they at?
barbarian real quick. Rage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
How does this one have set? Where are the hold on class features? Is there any land the hit efficiency? Hold on. So hit points.
If you're
Efficiencies,
looking up
equipment.
starting from Dragon's Blood and
Where?
going down
I don't see.
on your homebrew thing, Dragon's Blood and going down, those are all like extra bonuses that the
But
class is gonna
that's
get,
just
and that's not
that's for
even
the stuff.
counting. That's not even counting the when you do whatever emblem you take.
That's kind of like when you pick like the that dragon race and they get a fire. That's just what that's for. But see, look, that's just for the system. See,
Yeah,
like
but
so
look,
basically,
hold on.
you
You get 3 features at level 1. That's OP. You get 2 features at level 2. That's OP. You get another feature at level 3. Like what the fuck?
so the first
Every
one,
level you're getting something. This is no. This is
so
not
the
going
first one,
nice.
so
Hey,
all right,
hey.
so the
Just so you,
first one,
nothing you can say will make me let you play this. I'm sorry.
it's not a, oh my gosh.
I know. I told you though. I specifically told you nothing from this website, and here you go with 2 of them. Like,
I
get
thought
out
it
of
was
here,
the other
bro.
one.
No, it's the same bullshit. I
See, the
can't.
first one is just a
I
fire,
would.
bro.
I will ask you to make a legal character. You can use the homebrew stuff, or you cannot play. How about that?
Well, don't do that.
I'm doing that
Can I at
because I
least keep
don't.
the race?
Nope. I do not want to deal with it. If I allow you to do this, I have to allow everyone to do this, and if everyone does this, there's no point in having a campaign. I
So if I pick,
apologize, dude, but this website is absolute bullshit. I do not like it. We are not playing it.
so if I pick a fair website with homebrew,
I have... Yeah, if you can find a fair website, sure. I recommend just going through that folder that I sent. If you go to D&D resources, you can look. I have a folder of character options and compendiums that have a bunch of homebrew stuff that is actually tested. At least most of it's tested. This stuff is actually fair. And when you go to the website that you went to, that's just people that are, I want to be an OP dude that can do anything I ever wanted to. That's what that website is. Momo, let's see.
hold on. I think. How do you know? There's a thing that used to tell me it's play tested. They changed. So
Normally it'll say something, but yeah, this website, nothing from this website will be in my game. If you go take a look into that homebrew stuff that I've got, I'm almost certain you'll find something that you really like.
hold on, let me pull it up.
So yeah, now since
no.
you're looking at that, I'm gonna bring us back to the normal chat so I can help other people make their thing. But go, like, for real, dude, I love you, but I hope you can understand where I'm coming from as the
I'm
dungeon
not
master.
taking it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's why I asked you.
Yeah.
I'm not taking it to heart.
Okay, good. I want to make sure that we're just on the same slate. Like, if everybody wanted to just be OP and that would turn this into a silly campaign, that'd be fine. Maybe one day we could just have a one shot where everyone makes this stupid OP character using these classes and stuff. And in all honesty, I think I'll probably make a one shot when not everyone can be there, where you guys are just Omega OP and we go through and fight some big bad monster, like, just to get it out of your system. So it's not off the table in a one shot, but for the the full complex campaign that we're embarking in, it's definitely off the table. So,
Okay, I'll
but
look.
yeah, keep looking. If you want to send me a generalized like what you're kind of looking for in my off time, I can take a look through all my homebrew stuff and give you suggestions. Like, hey, this kind of rolls in with that aspect, or hey, this rolls in with this aspect.
There was another one, which basically it was like another backstory just in case that one didn't work. Dang, I lost where I was. Actually, it's switching out one thing for another, but like I said, I'll run it by. So, well, it won't be. It's quick. So, have you seen like the Bringer? It's on this website, or did I show you that?
I don't think so. It's on that same homebrew website.
Nah, it's on the different one. It's just.
If you go to D&D Beyond, there is a whole homebrew section on there. Where is it? I think it's under sources, maybe.
Sources.
No, it's not sources. Game rules.
Hold on, I think I was on.
There it is. Homebrew. I don't want to see I want to browse. Oh, browse races, browse subclass. Yeah, so if you go to D&D Beyond and you go under creation, you can look at browse races and browse subclasses. Some of these, I believe, like, because so many people use it, if the rating is positive, more than likely people have looked at it and they're like, hey, that's actually a fair race or a fair thing. The more people that have looked at it, the more likely I will allow it. But if the ratings are negative, more than likely, like almost off the bat, no sir.
Okay, I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah. Take a look at that. Take a look at the homebrew stuff that I have downloaded, and then also send me a generalization of what your backstory encompasses. That way I can also help you take a look, because I want to make sure that you get a character that you want to play, but I also got to make sure that you're not the most OP thing ever known to man. Yeah. Because that website would make you the most OP man in this game at level 1. So
I wish people could just maybe somebody's taken that class and like made it fair. I wish didn't know.
Doubtful, but yeah, I'm almost 100% certain when you go looking through that homebrew, like Gerald's looked at it and immediately just at the name he's like, I want to play that, and then he read it and he's like, yeah, I definitely want to play this. So I almost guarantee you'll find something in my homebrew collection that you'll also want to play that you can actually play. So, but I'm bringing us back to the normal chat. All right.
You said it's under the hatchery?
No, go to D&D resources and scroll up. You should see where I link my Google Drive.
Brady, you thought Johan was small.
I may have started something.
Oh, I know. For some reason, Kyle likes really tiny things.
Hey, this one goes really good with a...
Oh, whoops.
Oh, wait. So, if he chooses a super small race, could I...
You can punt me.
No. Using a class feature to some degree, could I make it
I want this.
Shield? Have like an actual meat shield?
Wait, what?
Yeah, and you use his hit points instead of yours when you get hit. Yeah,
gonna grab him in the middle of combat.
Yeah, that sounds dope. What's your name? Dallas.
Yeah. What?
We have a viewer, and he was watching me talk shit about your homebrew rules that you found, and he actually found something on the Demi or on D&D Beyond that I just linked to you that might actually be kind of what you're looking for. And after looking at it, I would allow it.
Did you just link it
Let's
to
see.
me? Oh, I see it.
Kronk Bash. What a hero. Everyone clap for Kronk Bash. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Ladies,
Kronk Bash.
a round of applause for
Where's-
Kronk Bash.
Where's
Yes,
Yzma?
thank you. Yeah, where is Yzma? Oh, right. Cusco's poison. Poison made for Cusco.
Is that my voice? Speaking of my voice, my job made me record the hold voice. So now every time I call the main line, I hear my voice, and I'm like, no,
oh,
thank
neat.
you.
What's the number?
Oh no.
I want to hear it. I want to hear
I'm
it.
not telling it to you.
Do you know Kirsten's phone number at work? Because she's the voice of the phone. Hi, welcome to so-and-so. Press 1 for this person. Press 2 for this option. Yeah, I want to call it and just press all the numbers and see where it takes us.
That's me.
Oh, that's right. She said you don't even know your own phone number, so there's no point in asking you. So.
Oh no, I know the work number to call where I recorded the voice message, but yeah.
Yeah, I think this Kronk Bash gentleman just saved your hopes and dreams there, Dallas. Just so everyone is aware, real quick, the D&D Wiki website is banned from anything I ever run.
D&D Wiki.
Yeah, dndwiki.com. If you ever bring that to me, I will allow you to create it, and I will immediately kill that character at the very beginning of the session.
Okay.
Harsh.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're talking about.
We dndwiki.com. Okay.
Yeah. Anytime that you approach me with stuff from that website, it will not be fun. Why? It's that. Remember that samurai class I sent you, Martin, and you were like, "I don't want to read this."
Oh yeah.
That's that website, and everything that is homebrew. Dallas sent me a class or a race rather, and the race had class features in it, where as you leveled up, you became stronger as this race, which is unheard of in D&D. I think he understands now why I can't allow it. But I told him, and this is
you
for
gave him a
everyone
good
to keep
stern
an open
talking
mind.
to.
Yes. One day we probably will do a one-shot because maybe I just feel like doing it, but I'll allow everyone to make some stupid OP homebrew race and class combo, and we will just fight some really strong monsters for a session because why the hell not? I feel like that's something that Dallas needs to get out of his system too. You've been playing too many video games.
I haven't been playing enough, actually.
Oh, I feel you there, dude.
It's been
What are you trying to
forever.
do with your character, Kirsten? What do we need help with?
Oh, God.
I don't know if I filled it out right. So, I've done what I can, but I just wanted you to check it.
Okay,
I'm just working on spells right now, so.
Yeah, spells is probably going to be a majority of what you have to worry about.
Well, we already went over spells, so I know how to do that. Like, I've been working on that, but I'm talking about, like, the course, like, the stuff that we rolled for and everything. I just want to make sure I did that right.
Okay, yeah. So let me look over your initial stats, and let me scroll up to the beginning. Really, I have to do this?
And because I'm a mermaid, I'm automatically proficient in acrobatics.
Yes.
So that's why I have it checked.
Because you're doing the one from D&D Beyond, right? The merfolk from there? Or which one did you decide on?
Yeah, I picked that one. So I think I have everything in there that I need. Like, I put the mermaid tail in the thing. And then I picked the circle of land. And so I put in, like, all that stuff down at the bottom. Obviously, we're not, like, at 10th level yet, but I just put it in there for now.
Yeah, just so that you get it. or have it ready to go.
Yeah,
do
just so
that.
that I can see it.
Oh, Mr. Brady.
Yes.
The difference between a spellcasting focus and a component pouch.
The only real difference is that the spellcasting focus takes place of components that do not like have a price tag on them, such as a spider leg. You don't have to have a spider leg or a component pouch in order to cast your spell. The component pouch is more flavor. Like if you wanted to, role play, I'd pull out, that guano and make it explode, aka you cast fireball. It's more for flavor. Whereas the spellcasting focus, you actually have to have it in your hand. You have to have a free hand to be able to wave it around and do your shit in order to cast your spell.
Okay,
I think the
so
focus can take on different forms, if I remember reading it right, under the equipment section of the player's handbook. It can be a quarterstaff, so you can use your quarterstaff as your spellcasting focus if you're walking around with a quarterstaff, and that would leave a free hand open for you to actually do the somatic effects of a spell.
okay.
Unless you take the Warcaster feat, and then you can move your staff around. But essentially, if you have a spellcasting focus, it will need to be on your person within arm's reach in order to cast your spells. If you have a component pouch, same kind of thing. It needs to be in arm's reach to where you can put your hand in the bag, pull out what you need, and cast the spell.
Okay.
So let's see. This one is Kirsten. Oh, wait, hold on. Who did this one? Yeah. That should be... So a 10... A 14... Okay. Yeah, I don't...
Based off of what you said, I don't think I did it right.
You did not. So that's okay.
Yeah,
I'll fix it.
I didn't think so.
I think that's what that one was.
Yeah. For the starting equipment,
Uh-huh.
if you could start out with the martial weapon, or with whatever weapon you pick. How does that work with the martial equipment guide that's technically in the game?
Actually, that is a good point, because essentially what they did was they got rid of the martial and simple weapons. So yeah, I would say you can pick, if you want your bastard sword, you can take it. Alright, so I got your corrected stats now. I'll go ahead and update your scores as well real fast. And what I'll probably do... Let's see that. What's the 11? And depending, so I'm going to end up adding up everybody's like stats together, just so everyone's aware. And I'll do this offline since we're not actually playing, but I want to make sure that there's still some sort of like variation to where it's kind of even. I don't want someone to have rolled like extraordinarily high and they have 90 stat points while someone else is suffering at like 63. If that's the case, yeah.
What?
If that,
I have
yeah,
a 70s.
Yeah, Martin rolled decently well. But essentially, I know Matt Mercer does the minimum of 70 rule, and I think I'm gonna probably play with that. So I'm probably, since I'm not giving you guys the bonus feat or the bonus stats, I think that's what I'll probably do, is make sure everyone has a minimum stat score total. of 70. Let me do a thing real quick.
And then you're just is everyone's stats gonna be public knowledge to everybody? The totals?
Nope. Shouldn't be.
Or just no the totals. Okay.
I guess yeah, and the totals are not. No, that'll be between me and the person.
Okay.
In theory, I think it's more fun to not know a lot about a person's class. So let's see.
And then feats. Do we get any feats or not?
No. The only time you can pick a feat is at level 4. When you got the ability score improvement, you can choose to take a feat, or you can choose to take bonus stat points. Your choice.
Okay, so since we're all at 5, we should have 1 feat?
Yeah.
Unless you're multi-classing.
Well,
I think I'm gonna do Warcaster.
Multi-classing, you wouldn't. So now your stats are corrected. You took the acrobatics skill, and you took 3 others from being... Let's see, druid. Choose 2 of them. Boom, boom. Oh, whoops. I'm sorry, Kronk. I got distracted.
Clickety clack.
I definitely agree.
Also, I'm pretty sure most people aren't human, but if you're human, you can get a feat that way.
Yeah, the human variant.
I've got
free feats.
3 healing spells.
Let's see, you get... So you get a +1 to your intelligence and a +2 to your dex. So I'll put that in your initial stats.
Is that from Merfolk?
Yeah, from your Merfolk.
I didn't see that. And then as a noble, it says I get a language of my choice. So would that be the common, or do I get one now?
No, you already can speak, write, and read Common and Aquan.
And Aquan.
Yeah, so you would be able to choose something like Elvish or Sylvan, and being a Druid, Sylvan would be a pretty good pick. Just because like it speaks to Fey creatures specifically almost.
Okay, so Sylvan.
Druids and the Fey almost go hand in hand together. If you think about it, they don't have to, but they kind of do. At least in the Forgotten Realm setting. Which, what are we doing? At 5-ish. Is it 4:30? It is 4:30. Well, she also texted me and said they already laid all the sod and stuff. So, yeah. I'm essentially done whenever, so we can roll out. Did you want to go to the store? Okay, in that case, yeah. Alright, if anyone has anything pressing, speak now, for I am leaving. Otherwise...
I think that's it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much just me updating my spells now, right? Everything is updated?
Believe so. We'll have to add your intelligence point and your dexterity points. If you took the Warcaster feat, then you're good there. And then I'll go ahead and add your intelligence real quick. So that makes your intelligence not a -1, and your dexterity is now quite good. Oh, whoops,
what?
It's not 116 good. Plus 53 to dexterity. That'd be insane.
You're supposed to heal us. Why'd you heal the enemy? You know.
I
But
hear
he
healed everyone within a
colorful,
60-foot
yeah.
radius.
But
What's
he's
what's
colorful.
considered a too high of a stat roll to begin with total?
Too high? I don't think
Yeah.
there is one. That's just
Anything
you being lucky.
above 20?
But
I mean,
I
like
think
total.
what he's saying is like the total stats. Thanks for the
Yeah.
follow, Kronk. I got a follower.
Neat.
Yay, clap for Kronk. Everyone clap for
Yay,
Kronk Bash
Kronk!
again. He's a part of this. Thank you, Kronk. What a dude. I like this guy. He saved
Yeah,
Dallas's
boy.
hopes and ambitions. That's just funny. I need that.
Isn't that from that one chef guy who just like starts
Yeah, it's
rubbing
that
the meat?
chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about how you gotta rub your meat good and stuff.
Okay. Well, neat.
Right, Brady, that should be like your message when someone subscribes. It just plays that sound clip.
Yeah. Play it again real quick.
Yeah, boy.
That's just so funny, dude. What day did we agree on? Yeah, 23rd. 23rd of June. Because life. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the announcements real quick.
Just I'm watching that fucking video right now. That yeah boy thing.
Neat. Kronk will be able to join us for session 1 probably, and that'll be fun. Then when he gives me great ideas on how to kill you guys, because if we get enough viewers, I'm gonna be like, all right, viewers, well, how do you want me to kill these guys? Throw in a lich. They're level 5.
What?
Throw it anyway. All right, Kronk Bash. Yeah, and then we can give them a round of applause.
I think of that one Shrek meme is like, some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing
Sacrifice
to
I'm
make.
willing to make. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
All right,
you could theoretically be like, hey, you donate $5, you can, do this. You donate $30, automatic person dies each.
Campaign's been going for 2
TPK.
years.
Yeah.
We're right in front of the final boss. Brady gets a donator that just TPK.
Yeah, it'd be really funny. Like,
Everyone has
guys, they just donated $1,000 and they want the world to blow up. So, sorry. You feel the rumbling as a meteor from the sky starts falling. You can see the dinosaurs running away from the coast, and you're like, wait, where did dinosaurs come from? And then all of a sudden,
Suddenly
a tsunami of epic
The
proportions
UFOs
comes
also
crashing
swarm
down.
in.
Yeah, and
We'll just say
destroy all
someone's wild
humans,
magic got out of hand.
I was hoping
Sorcerers.
someone would pick a wild magic sorcerer, but here we are.
I'm
Now I have to
tempted
think about my
but
class again. Fuck.
next one.
The
I don't know.
wheel,
I'm tempted
so
to wild
much.
magic. Sounds fun, but
the wheel
so-
of wild magic.
Yeah, just so we're aware, if anyone does take the wild magic, we're using the D10,000 table, not the D100 table. So I just want
Dear
to make sure that
God.
is perfect.
First, I got so far into character creation without thinking. Fuck.
All right, everybody. Hope you had a good old time watching us do some random shit. Until next time, peace.